always one ghetto black boy in the back of the class. Black girls disgrace themselves on TV. I'm tired of these black girls in my government class. This dude was just going in on black women, black people, ghetto black people, akatas. And then you see some of his other tweets. He's like, oh, I want a white girl. I can teach a white girl a little thing about African culture. Oh, when the beautiful white girls wear yoga pants, he's putting up a smiley face. White girls wearing white booty shorts everywhere. Now, ooh, that's what I like. I mean, he's just bucking them eyes. I love white people. These are his tweets. This dude has just been on online cooning it up nonstop. These are just some of them. It even gets worse, but I'm not going to be redundant with it. Now, this brother Christian Obumseli, this brother unfortunately ended up dead this week. This brother got killed by his white girlfriend. This brother ended up getting killed by his white girlfriend. I don't wish death on nobody. I don't celebrate nobody's death. That's a very unfortunate thing. But when we sit up here and tell you the dangers of white supremacy and you think you just gonna coon it up a little bit harder and you're gonna be safe, man, we ain't about to do too much caping for you. You got to hold them nuts. You got to hold your own nuts. And now the family is out here. They trying to holler at FBA now. See, this is what I don't like. People come over here, y'all do all that trash talking. We sit up here and try to warn you about the dangers of white supremacy. And y'all sit up here and try to mock us like we don't know what we talking about. Y'all come over here, you shut up, Akata, the white supremacy. Nigga, please. These you niggas are lazy. There's no white supremacy. You just don't want to whack. Y'all start talking all that dumbass talk, and y'all think you're going to be in some kind of safe haven getting around these damn suspected white supremacists, and you think you're laying up with them. You found some kind of cheat code against white supremacy. Family, if that were the case, that would have worked a long time ago. We're telling you from experience, laying up with these white supremacists, that's not going to create some kind of cheat code that makes you immune from white supremacy. When we tell you that, we ain't hating. We're telling you from experience. When black folks was laying up with these demonic white supremacies during slavery, we knew then they'll get right out that bed and start putting you back on the field. Laying up with them don't mean nothing. No, it doesn't. Y'all niggas don't know how to love them. They haven't had my love. It's there. And then when you get stabbed, and then your family's running around here with a damn Black Lives Matter t-shirt on. Black lives do matter. Where's Tariq? Hey, nigga. Share the GoFundMe page. Now y'all want to blacken it up when all the cooning and buck dancing backfires. Where y'all at? Where the non-FBA people? Come on, chime in, because y'all always in here. Y'all been very quiet about this story. Y'all been so quiet about this story. Come on, hop on in here and tell us how ain't no white supremacy and we just need to whack. Come on, where you at? I want to hear from you. Y'all hop on in here. Let me know what's on your mind. Do we have any non-FBA people in here? Raise your hand. I want y'all to chime in now. Y'all in here all any other time. Where you at now? Come on, raise your hand, non-FBA people. Boy, it's throw your hands in the air and wave them like you just don't care. All right, let's get Ty. Let's get Ty. Well, he's FBA. I want to get some non-FBA folks in here. Ty is FBA. Let's get some non-FBA folks. I get Crown in here right now. All right, let's get Crown in here. What's up, Crown? Crown? All right, everything all right over there, Crown? You got it together? What's happening, bro? All right, Crown? All right. Crown, I'm trying to give you an opportunity to spit. You're slowing up the flow here. Let me get DJ Paul. All right, Crown, you can't get on, man. You're not saying nothing. DJ Paul, hop on, man.
Yo, hello?
There you go. So the phone lines are working. What's up, man?
Yeah, I'm doing good. I'm calling from Maryland. I'm actually Nigerian myself, and I heard of the news today.
Yes.
Yeah, it's pretty unfortunate, but I mean, when you look at the tweets, I mean, you can't really say nothing, like really.
Yeah,
So yeah, so it's like you made your bet, so you lie in it. So
yeah,
the expression. So honestly, like there's nothing really I could say about that. It's unfortunate, but it is what it is. That
there you go. There you go.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah, that stuff like that humbles people. And I don't it shouldn't get that bad for people to get humbled. See, yeah, every since this story has come out, but all of that bragging and chest pumping, boy, that has stopped. Y'all see that this thing is real out here. And you see you don't get no support when you do all of that akata, you niggas, where's that museum nigga, all of that shit. And when something happens to you, you have to hold your own nuts, and it don't feel good when you have to hold your own nuts when ain't nobody really rallying behind you. Because I've seen a couple of non-FBA people complaining, why are these niggas hitting? Is a dead man? Why are they not helping him? No, this nigga has sat up here online talking crazy about black folks and black women in particular, and foundational black Americans in general. No, we're not going to put the cape on for you. Yeah, that's very unfortunate. I hate that that happened. And here's the deal: the white girl ain't even being charged. This white girl stabbed this dude, and they're getting on the white supremacist code with this white girl. She was an OnlyFans chick too. All right, so this nigga's out here with an OnlyFans chick. She done stabbed him. They got into an argument, and then the friends, they got some white friends. They said that she was always abusive towards him, but again, she done killed this dude, and they're getting on code with this girl. She ain't even arrested. She ain't been charged. This is down in Florida, so Florida gives white supremacists and white supremacist suspects a green light to harm black folks. They give them a green light. They're not going to do anything. That's how on code they are. And when we try to tell y'all this, y'all sit up here and try to argue with us. Y'all think fat meat ain't greasy. Y'all think water ain't wet. When we tell you these things, people, we're telling you this from experience. Y'all got this thing where you think we, foundational black Americans, we just don't coon hard enough. You niggas got all of this opportunity. Why are you fighting the white man? Why are you fighting his opportunities everywhere? You think just cooning it up real hard is going to save you, and it's not. Family, if that were the case, we would have still been doing that. We realize, hey, cooning ain't working, so we might as well stand up and fight. There's a reason why we stand up to these white supremacists. Y'all shouldn't have to learn the damn hard way. Let's get some other people in here. All right, Ace, hop in, Ace.
What up, Rick? Hey, what I wanted to say to that point is how, like, and this ain't no knock, because I know some riders like this at non FBA, like, you know what I'm saying? But when I was locked up and shit, like, when they be COs, like, you could tell, like, how they come at us in there, like, you know what I'm saying? They feel a certain type of way towards us and shit like that. Like, so, like, on the outs, like, we really got to be able to sift through what we're looking at, the chessboard out here on the, you know what I'm saying? Like, they really got some type of vitriol or something towards us. But then, like, when you approach them on some man to man shit, they be on some bitch shit for real. Like, you know what I'm saying? But that's all I wanted to say, man. Like, I
There
seen
you
the
go.
vitriol.
No doubt. Let me get Jeffrey in here. Jeffrey, hop on, Jeffrey. Jeffrey, I think he's foreign with that symbol on his thing. Where you from, Jeffrey?
Hello, you can hear me, bro?
I can hear you, Jeffrey. How are
What's
you,
going
sir?
on, brother? I'm calling in from Boston, man.
Okay, now where you from originally?
Zimbabwe.
I knew that accent had a Zimbabwe twang to it. How you doing, bro? What's on your mind?
I'm good. I just wanted to comment and say, I mean, I really support what you got going on with the FBA movement. You started your own thing and you're rocking with that. But I just want to say, like, you often highlight the coon type of immigrant black here in America. And honestly, I don't think it's the majority of us. I mean, I understand that if it wasn't for the work put in for by FBA, I would never would have made it back to come here to America. So it's like most of us are not like that. And this whole Akata thing is really more of a Nigerian thing. Like down in this,
No, 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 no. Stop there, because people always try to put that on Nigeria, dude. I didn't had Ghanaians, Senegalese. I didn't even had Ugandans run up in here talking about Akata.
that word
So
doesn't
it ain't.
exist though, bro.
Yeah, but yeah, come on, don't put that on Nigeria. Nigeria, they do it a lot, but dude, I done seen Ghanaians, a lot of people all over Africa be using the term Makata, and in East Africa, they got other names, Abid, Jarir, they got other names for us, but yeah, a lot of them West African countries use Akata, so it's not just Nigeria. Let's not put it on them. Zimbabwe is cool. I've been to Zimbabwe, and they showed me nothing but love in Zimbabwe, but again. Some of them other spots, they're real funny style. You guys over there, there's still somewhat of a revolutionary spirit in Zimbabwe because they got busy to get them Rhodesians up out of there at one point.
Word, word.
Yeah, so yeah, the Zimbabweans are riders to a certain degree, but I feel you, man. But thank you so much for the call, Jeffrey.
All right, bye bye.
Yeah. I don't want y'all to just put that Akata thing just on the Nigerians. No, that Akata, a lot of them be spewing that Akata nonsense. All right, let's get some more people on here. Let's get Mr. Aaron Stewart. All right, let's get Aaron Stewart on here. Mr. Aaron Stewart looks very astute. He looks like a college professor at Grambling somewhere. What's up,
How's
brother?
it going, brother? What's going on? I'm
I'm
just,
good.
I have a question for you
Yes,
specifically.
sir.
When
Go
you
ahead.
said when you were saying that we have black people in America or people who are immigrate from African nations
Oh,
to
you're going
America.
out, sir. You're going in and out.
Oh, I'm sorry. Is that better?
Okay, yeah, go ahead. Now say that again.
Okay. So I'm just trying to pinpoint what you mean by cooning. What do you mean when being successful or what do you mean by cooning?
No, cooning doesn't mean being successful. Like cooning is self-explanatory. Cooning is basically you're doing things in front of white people to undermine black people. That's really what cooning is. You're doing things in front of white people in a way to undermine black people.
That's
At
still
the
very vague. Like what specifically? Can you give a specific example?
For example, if you are out there telling black people to do something or trying to promote something that you know is going to harm black people and is going to benefit white society and white
Like
supremacy, that's
what?
cooning. For example, if you're saying black folks, y'all should get out here and forgive this person for killing your son. All white people ain't bad. That's cooning. You understand? And then you have
So all
more.
white people are bad?
No, that's not the point. All white people are not bad. But if you're
Okay.
telling people, if somebody got killed, somebody's family member got killed by a race soldier or a suspected white supremacist, and you are a black person running around here talking about we should forgive and leave the white people alone because just because your black son got killed, all white people are not bad, that makes you a coon. Instead of saying, why don't we get justice? Yeah,
What if
that
you
makes
leave out forgive the white people, but not all white people are bad?
that's a distinction without a difference. The fact that you're not talking about bringing justice to the white person, that's the priority. It
Yeah, but
shouldn't
you
be.
can ask for justice though, but then also say, hey, because the I don't I what I see where you're coming from.
Uh-huh.
But for the longest time, like I go into spaces and I share my opinion, and my opinion are a little bit more conservative and more aligned constitutionally. And I've been called Coon, I've been called Uncle Tom, and all I'm trying to do is just live in a place of freedom. I don't want to be white.
Most black people are conservative. I'm very conservative. Most
Right.
black people are actually very conservative. A lot of times when people say that they're conservative, they're not really conservative. What they do, they are just trying to use conservatism to justify them buck dancing for white people.
Buck dancing for white people. Like, what examples are you giving? Can you
Again,
give? I mean,
I just gave one. I just gave one. Just doing
oh,
anything,
like that.
just
Okay.
yeah, just anything to try to appease white society and not make them accountable for systematic white supremacy. If you do anything to try to get the focus and deflect from white supremacy and not make them accountable for white supremacy, that is a form of cooning.
I
That
understand.
that makes sense. Now let me ask you. Now, where did you grow up?
California.
Okay. Are your family both foundational Black Americans or are they immigrants?
My mother is white. My father is black.
That's what I thought. Um, because you
That's
seem
another
like
thing that I always have had a problem with. Why does that matter?
it does matter because I could tell. I knew somebody in your family was white because you
Well,
sound
because of my
protective.
inflection and
Absolutely not. No, your inflection has zero to do with it.
no, my complexion.
Oh, I don't even know what I can't. I really can't see your image that good. But hold on, let me look now. Not just because of your complexion. Hold on, I'm looking now. Hold on. Wait. Okay, yeah, you're just a regular, kind of a light brown brother. So yeah, that wasn't even it. Just your ideology. It was your ideology that let me know that there was somebody white in your family because you sound somewhat protective of white people when
See,
you
there it
say,
is. There it is. That's what I'm talking about. Not once did I ever protect white people. What I was trying to do is try to pin down what your definition of cooning is, because too many times do we accuse black folk who are trying to progress other black folks
mm-hmm,
of cooning.
mm-hmm. Now, you were protective of white people because, again, when we were talking
Negative.
about when you wanted an example of what makes a person a coon, and I said if there's a black person running around here trying to get black people to forgive white people and saying that all white people ain't bad, and then you immediately came in, well, are all white people bad?
No,
Now,
the reason why I said that was because there's the opposition that says that all black people are violent, all black people are bad. And so for us to get away from going back and forth and for us to start bridging the divide, we have to come to the agreement that there's a commonality between our people, and that there are good white people, there are good black people, and that there are the individuals that need to be held accountable. That's all I was trying to
but you
bring
do
up.
understand, but that's an unfair equation because even if there are good white people and good black people, there's a system of white supremacy and there is not a system of black supremacy. So we're completely unequally yoked. So
But
there's no comparison.
bringing up but for the sake of unity, of course there's white supremacy. Nothing that I've said, argues the point that there is no such thing as white supremacist policies. I can name off the five major ones that affect our community the most and the longest, and has
Are they
contributed to the
are
stare.
are they all democratic policies?
No, they're policies of white supremacy.
I understand that. What are those policies?
One policy is gun control. It has been used systemically in the past. This legacy black code laws and legacy Jim Crow laws that prevented the ability for black people to be able to defend
Got it.
themselves.
Okay.
Thus, the reason why
Stop.
black
Stop.
people were
Okay.
subjected to the black
That's a
Jim
that's a
Crow laws.
that's a democratic talking point. What's the next one?
That's not a democratic talking
Yes,
point.
it
That has
is.
been that has been historically used
I know
before
that.
guns were even invented.
Stop it. That's a democratic thing. That's a gun control. That's an anti-democratic talking point. That's what I mean. That's a right wing talking point against the Democrats.
It
See
is
this
an
this
individual.
this thing. Hold on, because
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
if all the points are going to be this anti-democrat, and let's be clear, I don't like Democrats. I'm not a Democrat. I do not like Democrats. But what I do not do is play
Let
the
me ask you
political
this.
hot potato.
Let me ask you this. Is that is that an example of white supremacy, taking away a person's right to protect themselves? Yes or no?
Yes,
Okay.
absolutely.
So it's not a democratic thing, it's a racist thing.
But the thing is, these are things that you
I
guys
don't care
pin
if they're
on.
Democrats or
Hold on,
Republicans. If you're trying
hold
to take away
on,
my
hold on.
rights, you're wrong.
But these are things that people pin on Democrats. When people say that they're conservative, they pin that on Democrats. So what's the other white supremacist policies?
The other one is minimum wage.
Okay. That has nothing to do with white supremacy. But what's the next one, sir?
100% because the eugenics used it to protect white wages. When you do, you have 48% of the people who make wages minimum wage between the ages of 16 and 24. They're
Okay.
usually, hold on for a second, they're usually low skilled paying jobs. When you hike up the minimum wage, what happens then? It forces industry to automate. When you automate, you lose jobs. Then you have people who, the people who are working in the low skills jobs, not able to work. So what does that
Right.
do? It
O-
causes dependence upon the government.
Okay. I agree with you, but that's not
So let me ask you this:
okay.
Is
Hold
minimum
on.
wage is minimum wage white supremacist?
All economic deprivation is white supremacy. It's not just minimum wage. The white supremacists, you said there's 5 policies. I'm telling you it's more than that. It's 8 areas of activity. All 8. There's only 9 areas of activity. No, 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 no. It's all 9 areas of activity. There's only 9 areas of activity that we engage in as human beings. I'm gonna see if I can remember them: sex, labor, education, economics, war, religion, entertainment. I think it's medical, and I can't. What's the? Somebody help me with the last one. But there's 9 areas of activity, and white supremacy dominates every single one. Not just a couple of policies.
It's not just white supremacy. It's anywhere where there's a majority and a minority.
No,
You can find examples of that in Rwanda. You can find
Rwanda.
examples of that in India. You can find examples of that in Taiwan. You can find examples of that
How,
anywhere
when you
there's a minimum wage or any type, there's a class system. You can find racism within those things.
white supremacy dominates all of that. White supremacy dominates India. White supremacy dominates Rwanda. And if there's infighting among the black people there, it's orchestrated by the white supremacists, either directly or indirectly, sir. It's not nothing to do with the majority minority. White people are the global minority, yet they dominate and control every inch of this planet. Is that true or not true, sir? Jeopardy.
For right now, for the sake of argument, I'll say that that is true. I'll do some more research and get back to you.
For the sake of right now, when you research, it's gonna come right on back to white supremacy. They pretty much dominate all areas. It's when you research it, you're gonna come to that conclusion because you would have an example now where they don't.
Well, it's just well, if I it's not something that I looked into personally.
Right.
So I mean, I could I'm for the sake of argument right now. You got more. You have more knowledge on that, and I cannot think of a specific example other than Arab countries where they're thriving and doing well, regardless of white people.
Oh, Arab countries, but do you know they bomb Arab countries left and right anytime they feel like?
Iran hasn't been bombed,
Man, dude, Iran has all types of sanctions on them, man. Iran is
but they're
not,
thriving regardlessly.
sir. There are so many sanctions on Iran. Iran is not popping like that. There's always strife over there in Iran. Iran is not popping like that. I don't know what you're talking about over there in the.
They're economically independent of any
Uh,
European countries
no,
because they have a source of minerals. I mean, source of fuel that we need.
they sit on oil and they have nothing to do with it. They just happen to sit on that oil, and the white supremacists control them. The white supremacists fund
They
terrorists.
control them.
Yes, they do, because the white supremacists are the ones who fund the terrorists that go up there blowing up stuff. There's always bombing and
When
terrorism.
have they bombed Iran?
Dude, there's always little terrorist attacks happening over there all the time. There's always
When have they
attacks.
bombed Iran?
Sir, you do acknowledge that there are terrorist attacks in Iran all the time. You do understand that, right?
And it has nothing to do with the person who's running the country.
I don't even understand what that means, but you
It
do
has
understand.
nothing to do with the policies that are put in place by the political parties that are in there. It has only to do with white supremacy.
The white supremacists orchestrate all that stuff, sir. What are you talking about?
So the policies of throwing gays off of buildings, and the policies of keeping women uneducated, and the policies of keeping other tribes that are not the minority, that are minorities, other tribes oppressed, that has nothing to do with that, but everything to do with white supremacy.
Sir, you're all over the place, but let's get back to Iran. You're sitting here
That's
talking
what I'm
about
talking
this.
about. I'm talking about specifically Iran.
Do you know how many
That's what the
prime
president does
ministers
over there.
but do you know how many prime ministers and presidents and people over there that's been assassinated in
There's only
Iran?
one president. He's been a president for a very long time.
Dude, several
You're
people have
thinking of
been.
Iraq. I'm talking
I'm
about
talking about
Iran.
Iran.
That's what I'm talking about.
I'm talking about Iran, sir.
Yes, sir.
There's a lot of people over there in Iran, a lot of heads of state, so to speak, that's been killed over there.
And it's because
The
of white
deputy
supremacies and
Al Sayed Shirazi, the deputy chief of staff up there, they killed him in '99. Man, there's always stuff they're taking out people over there. Where do you think that comes from?
it comes from white supremacy and has nothing to do with the oppression of the people.
Well, the white supremacists, they help orchestrate the terrorism that goes on over
And
there.
this is why we'll never move forward, because
How
we're
so?
always blaming somebody.
Well, if
I
there's
agree.
white
I agree
supremacy.
with you 100% that there are policies that are in America that reach out and oppress other places and that influence other places. I agree with you 100%. I also agree with you that there are policies that are in America right now that are racist and systemically racist, and that and cultivate a environment of impression. But there are too many examples of people who've overcame that and have broken through that oppression, even when it was the most difficult times to do so. I
Who?
mean,
Who?
Frederick Douglass comes to mind. We have Kevin Hart today. We have Oprah Winfrey. We have every single black representative and senator that sits in Congress and the House of Representatives. We have mayors and governors and police chiefs who are black, and
Was just
judges,
because
and we just had
look,
a judge. We just
because
had a
what
female black judge confirmed in the Supreme Court.
and that means what for black people?
That 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 racism, that white supremacy in America can be overcame.
How is this woman being allowed to be a Supreme Court justice overcoming racism?
She wasn't allowed. She was nominated for her abilities and what she
Allowed.
did. She was nominated for what she did. She was vetted and she was hired to do the job.
And she was, why are they bragging
And
about
that
her
was
being
just
black?
one example. That was just one
Wait a
example. I
minute.
gave you
Wait
hundreds
a
of
minute.
other
Wait.
examples.
Slow down. Why are they bragging about her being black then? Turn your microphone on. Why are they brag? They all day to day, they're hollering about this is such a great thing for black people. She's black, black, black. Why are they bragging about her being black?
So that black people will continue to vote Democrat.
So you're saying it's just a symbolic nothing burger then, right?
No, I'm saying that she was qualified and she was hired to do the job that she's
Then
doing.
why are they running around bragging about how
Because they're
black she is?
celebrating the first black woman. It's not just black,
Okay,
it's black
what
woman.
does that mean for black women around the country tangibly?
What that means tangibly is that we have an example of someone who broke through the ceilings, who is free of both mind and body,
Not
moving within the
tangible.
system,
That's not tangible. That's not
moving
tangible.
within. It's 100% tangible because you
It's
have an example,
100%
you have a
not
place to
tangible.
aspire to.
That's symbolic, sir. That's not tangible. You can't quantify that. That's not tangible. You can't do anything with that. You can't pay your rent. You can't pay your bills with that. You cannot do anything with the
But it
symbolic.
inspires you to look
Sir,
past.
I can get inspired by a crackhead. Anything can inspire you. I get inspired by trees and flowers, sir. We don't need symbolic nothing burgers. Symbolic gestures, putting that out there as if that's some kind of win for black people. That's a tactic of white supremacy, sir.
It's a
Don't you?
win for that individual who
And it
overcame your white supremacy.
And what does that mean for the rest of us? That's
That
just
white supremacy is a hurdle in America that can be overcame.
how did she overcome the hurdle by getting a damn job?
She overcame the hurdle from getting the damn job, from living free within her mind, accepting the fact that she has certain unalienable rights that cannot be taken away. She worked in the system. She educated herself. She worked hard. She became a judge. She did the work. She put in the work, and now she is sitting at one of the pinnacle
And
top pinnacle powers in
they
America today.
screened and made sure she's not going to do anything to threaten white supremacy. That's the elephant in the room right there. So do you think that's a good thing to do? Sit up here and
So
cape
what
for
do you
white
mean
supremacy?
they made sure that she didn't, they screened her to make sure she wasn't going to
That
mess with
woman
white
has a
supremacy?
track record of throwing out cases of racial discrimination that would benefit black people. She has a long track record of doing that. That's the only reason why they put her there, sir.
I'm going to have to look into that because all I kept on hearing about was the pedo stuff and not being able to find women. So I had never heard of her throwing out stuff like
Look
that.
up the Lockheed case. Look up her cases. There were racial discrimination cases that black people filed, and she threw it out. This woman,
So if this is true, then why is the Black First Nation so happy about her nomination or her
the
confirmation?
those are Democratic shields. The black grassroots don't give a damn about that woman.
Well, I know a lot of black nationals that are not Democrats, that are not those Democratic shields, and they're happy too because
No,
they're black first.
the black grassroots don't really care. I can promise you that. The black people on the grassroots are not excited. We don't care, and they don't care. Black people are not tripping because they know this is not anything that's going to be a win for them. This is another Clarence Thomas. What has Clarence Thomas done for black society in 30 years?
Upheld the Constitution.
Sir, how? For black people? When black people are getting killed in their sleep? What constitution for who?
All people born and naturalized in America.
Sir, the Constitution is not upheld for us. The Second Amendment is not upheld for us. Ask Philando Castile, who
Oh,
got killed.
I know the Second Amendment isn't upheld for us, and I know
So
why it's not
why are
upheld
you
for us,
talking
and
about the
I
Constitution,
know who is not,
sir?
I know who is in the way of uh, uh, allowing us to
So
defend
how
ourselves.
are they upholding the Constitution and the Constitution doesn't even work for us?
It doesn't work for us and nobody else who are under the same guise and the destructive behavior
Then you
of
just
the progressives.
contradicted yourself,
No,
sir.
and I
You
didn't
just
contradict myself. You want to hear a certain thing, and so you're hearing.
Thank you, sir. When you contradict yourself like that, now you're just babbling. I had to let him go, guys. Because when you sit up here and say, well, he's upholding the Constitution, and then when you point out the Constitution is not being upheld, yeah, that's right. Because, okay, now, if it's that easy for you to sit here and contradict yourself, let's just shut it down. Okay. This is what I'm talking about. Family, these are the kind of people who try to get you guys on the voting treadmill. Do you see how silly voting is, family? I've been on an anti voting campaign heavy and I'm going to stay on it. Do you see how silly that is? When you talk to these people, they can't even talk logically. They're sitting up here talking about symbolic nothing burgers. Symbolic nothing burgers. And when you talk about how we're not getting anything tangible, all you get is babbling and splaining. This, ladies and gentlemen, is why you should not be in the political process. Leave them alone. All right, let's get Alpha Warrior in here. Alpha Warrior, hop on, man. Hop on, Alpha Warrior. Turn your microphone on.
I just had a question listening to the Discord between you and Aaron, and
Yes.
and I appreciate a lot of the information that he was providing, and I know you were saying that it's not tangible and it's not this. I would like, can you give us an example of what it is that you need to see happen that is tangible? Because the stuff he brought
The
up, I mean, it seemed very extraordinary.
like what? What did he bring up that was extraordinary?
Well, I'm very against Judge Jackson's nomination. But outside of that, he literally outlined how this one example of a woman overcame all the hurdles that exist in this country, according to you, and still made it to the highest, most respectable judge seat in our nation.
Uh-huh.
Like, and like I said, I'm not for her. I don't want no one to
That don't mean
confuse it.
anything.
But
That's
that's not an
symbolic. That
accomplishment to
doesn't.
you.
No, it ain't shit.
So then,
It's
so my
literally
question
nothing.
to you is, then what is?
Because let me tell you why. Let me tell you why. It's nothing if they let you in a position and you can't do anything to help the people who look like you. It's a nothing position. When Asians are allowed in certain positions, they are allowed to help Asian people. When Hispanics are brought up to high positions, they are allowed to help Hispanic people. If you let an LGBT person get into political office, it's not a problem when they help LGBT people. Black people are the only group that are allowed to get in certain political positions under the one condition that they do not help the black masses exclusively. Can you tell me any time in American history where a black elected official was allowed to help black people exclusively? Go.
President Obama.
Obama didn't do a damn thing for black people. Sir, are you trolling?
So no, I'm not trolling. I'll give you an example.
What did
Like
Obama
I
do
was out
exclusively
again.
for black people?
I'm gonna tell you because I obviously wasn't a fan of him. So I'm definitely not trying to pump him up. But if you remember during the Ferguson riots, he sent government officials to the funeral of the kid that was killed. But when the cops were killed in Texas, he sent nobody. You don't think that's a clear symbol to who he
Stop.
supports and who he didn't? It's a
Okay.
question. It's a question.
Sir, that's trolling. You're
I'm
trolling.
asking you a question.
You're trolling. That's not doing
What's
anything
it?
for
Just
black
because it
people.
challenges you to think
That's
about
not
something
even
doesn't mean it's
challenging, sir.
trolling.
You just proved my
You
point. He
got
didn't do.
challenged by Aaron. You got
Stop.
challenged by me,
Stop.
and you'll
You're trolling.
block me like every.
I'm not blocking you. You're proving my point because now you're talking fast because you're trolling now. Talking about Obama sent somebody to a funeral, you just proved my point. That's what I'm talking about. So pointing to a black person in a certain position means nothing because the white supremacists make sure they're not allowed to help other black people. So
Can
you
you
have
give me an
actually
example of a white supremacist in
um
current day that's made that happen?
all of them, the white supremacists who run the country, sir.
Well, give me one specific example of what a white supremacist did that didn't allow black people to succeed. A current day example. I'll listen.
Putting a black person in a tokenized position, making sure that they don't help other black people. White
So then
supremacist suspects
let
like
me
Biden.
understand this right.
Uh huh.
If
Go ahead. Go ahead.
if we put a black person in power,
Uh huh.
then we're handcuffing them from doing something. If we don't put a black person in power, then we're racist. What does it take for you to finally say that there's progress being made?
For you to not play trick bag games with the people that you put in office, and also give tangibles to black people the same way you give tangibles to other groups. Putting a black person in a tokenized position and you're not going to give tangibles to the black masses, that's racism because it's trickery and deception, sir. That's nothing but white
So
supremacy.
so when we put black police chiefs in power, that's not a tangible position to make a
They're not in
difference.
power. They're put them in positions. Power is when you have the ability to influence and control something. These
Well,
black
I
police chiefs are not in
I worked for a black police chief who happened to be corrupt in the end, and he got fired for a sexual scandal.
power. Uh-huh.
But while he was in power, he implemented policies.
He
He
wasn't in
changed.
power. There's no police chief who's black who's in power. None.
So let me just understand this
None.
correctly. Am I to understand that there is zero black people across our entire country that are in any position of influence to help out the black community or anyone in general?
Not in the political system that we have. The only positions of power that black people have is on a grassroots level when we work with each other. But when we get with the dominant society, we are automatically in powerless positions.
So
That
then I have one last question, and then
Mhm.
after that, I'll let you go to someone else. Do you think our government is harder on black criminals or on other criminals of other colors and races?
Our government has criminalized blackness itself. So they're harder on black people because we've been criminalized based on being born the wrong color, according to the white supremacists. All of
Okay.
us are criminalized, sir.
Then can you explain one thing to me?
Yes, sir.
Why do we have 2 years of riots and city burnings and the
Mm-hmm.
vice president putting out a system to bail those people out, but then we have white people,
Who,
actually a mix of people, on January 6th that are still in the prisons in solitary confinement to this day for misdemeanor crimes. I
sir?
mean that example alone goes against what you're saying.
Sir, you're saying stuff that you know is not true.
So you're telling me that there
You
was
know
no
what you
riots for two
not
years?
true,
I'm asking you,
sir.
yes or no? Were there riots where cities got burned for 2 years?
And some of the white supremacists were the ones burning them, sir. Do you know
I,
that?
I do know. I do believe Antifa was there,
No,
absolutely.
I'm not
But
talking about Antifa.
I
I'm talking
also
about the
saw
Boogaloo Boys, sir.
uh,
There
there
were
were
there
there
were Boogaloo Boys
I
burning them
agree.
buildings,
I
sir. In
listen.
Minnesota,
I will not.
there were white cops going undercover burning up buildings in Minnesota, sir.
Okay,
Do you
I'll tell
understand
you.
that?
I'll tell you right now. I understand that, and I believe you. It still
Mm-hmm.
doesn't discount the fact that there's videos, thousands of hours of video, thousands of hours of black people that were burning buildings. We have in
And,
Seattle.
and the
We have in
ones who
Seattle
got
that there
caught
was
went to
footage,
jail.
and they were, and then they got out. They got bailed out.
Who?
But yet
No, they
we have
didn't.
what
No, they didn't. No, they
if
didn't.
you listen
No, they
according,
didn't,
and like I
sir.
said, and I don't like
Now
to watch
the
CNN,
people who
but when you
stormed
watch,
the now stop the people who stormed the Capitol, these folks are getting literally slaps on the wrist. These folks are getting like a couple of months, a couple of days. One guy the other day literally just got acquitted all the way through. They're giving these people slaps on the wrist. You are not going to sit here and pretend that these people are getting any type of hard time. They're getting probation. They are getting
so
jaywalking tickets, and you know
so
that they're not getting
so,
punished.
so what I do know is I have
Hmm.
arrested people for violent assaults. I've arrested people that I've gone in pursuits. I've arrested
Now,
people for some
are you
violent.
still in law enforcement? Are you
No,
still a cop?
I did it for 15 years, and I'm doing something. I work in explosives now.
Got it.
But
And and what city did you work in, by the way?
the Cathedral City Police Department in Southern California.
Oh, okay, so you were out here, so you know that the police departments out here, your department, full of white supremacists, card carrying white supremacists. There are white
Well,
supremacists.
then here I got something very interesting. 80% of our department was a minority. So you're telling me that
Minority
as
means
minorities,
nothing. Minority means
so
nothing. That's it.
we were white
Uh
supremacists
huh.
as Mexicans.
Yes.
So then explain this to me.
Yes.
My community that I worked in has a population of about 86,000 people.
Uh huh.
90% of the population is Hispanic.
And
We have a small minority population that's gay.
uh huh.
There's a very small percentage of our community that is black or white, but we're white supremacists.
Yes. Minorities don't mean anything. Minority means non-black, basically. That's what minority is. Minority doesn't mean black. When I hear the word minority, that's a code word for non-black people.
So if you're a
Minority is a
minority
negative
and you become
word. I'm
successful,
not a
you're a white
minority. No,
supremacist.
no, no. A minority is a trick word. Anybody who sits here and classifies themselves as white and they want to practice white supremacy, that makes them a white supremacist or a white supremacist suspect. And sir,
So explain
and
this to me.
sir, you know
During the course
this.
of my career, and you guys can look this up because this guy deserves a lot of respect. His name was Jermaine Gibson. He was my partner. He died on March 18th of 2011. He was a Purple Heart recipient, and he was black. And he died in the pursuit of another black member that was from the Gateway Grip Posse. Is that
Mhm.
white supremacy?
That's an anomaly, sir.
So
Sir,
if everything I
that's
tell
an
you is an
anomaly.
anomaly
That's
or
an
it's white
anomaly,
supremacy, then
sir.
so what you're
You
telling me, there's absolutely no
you
way
you
that it
work
will ever
for
make sense.
law enforcement in Southern California. You know good and well you can't even get on those departments unless you're in some of those deputy gangs that you have in the departments. That's a prerequisite to get in the department. You have to be secretly initiated in one of those deputy gangs. They're making Alex Villanueva, whatever his name is, they're going to make him testify against those gangs pretty soon. That's how bad they are. And you know that.
Well, I have something very interesting to say.
Let's hear it.
If anybody wants to Google my name, my real name is Alfredo Luna. I worked for the Cathedral City Police Department. I had a career that was almost 15 years. I have the Medal of Valor. I have awards from the FBI. I had a very good career.
What's
Now,
your
if you
last name?
go
Alfredo what? What's your last name?
Luna, Luna. If you go Google my termination, which is we're still in the court process for it, you'll see that what the story they sold is one thing. If you look at the court transcripts, you'll see another. I was working for a police chief named Travis Walker. He was ultimately fired 6 months after me for sexual assault on a dispatcher. He just recently got hired last year in Northern California, where he's now under investigation for another sexual assault. If you read the transcripts of my case, what you will end up finding is this police chief wanted me to write an illegal warrant because I worked undercover and I worked gangs. He's from San Bernardino. He wanted me to write an illegal warrant against 3 Mexican gang members. Now, let me tell you, these guys were bad guys. They were not good guys. But the warrant he wanted me to write was illegal. It was wrong. I refused to. I had a target on my back. Because of that, I'm now fighting for my career. That's white supremacy.
Yeah, that's just you guys bickering among each other. Just because y'all bicker
So
among
you
each
have an
other.
officer, myself, that
Uh-huh.
refused to do something illegal to protect guys that are not good guys, and that's called bickering. At what point can you just admit that it's not all that you say it is, and they're not
Yeah,
just
it
talking?
is. It is. Look, white supremacists and white supremacist suspects, they bicker among each other all the time. But when we come around, they all seem to get on code with each other on the anti-black codification. So just because y'all have little job bickerings or whatever, that doesn't negate the fact that you guys still uphold white supremacy. You have deputy gangs that has completely infiltrated law enforcement. And you know this, that's why Chris Dorner, who worked as a cop, went on a rampage, killing some of the people within the department because he said it's that bad. The only way to stop it, we just have to take up arms against these
So,
people. You
so
know how bad it
understand that
is.
Chris Dorner killing a bunch of people is because cops are bad, but me standing up against a black chief that wants me to write illegal warrants is an anomaly, and that's what everybody in this room's to believe. I'll admit there's bad cops. Trust me, they are. But the vast majority are good. The vast majority will die for you and your kids, even though they don't know you, because the
The-
oath means something to us.
Sir, your whole department out here, the whole department is corrupt. All of it. If you sit up here and you knowingly have deputy gangs, and it's pretty much open, it's an open secret at this point. Don't give me the good apples, bad apples. The whole thing is rotten, sir. Just like with gang members. You guys sit up here and go after gang members. You don't look at the gang members who go out here and feed the homeless and do good things. All gang members are bad to you guys. Gang members
That,
are gang
that is
members.
one thing I'll agree with you. For a perfect example, outlaw motorcycle gangs. They give great things to the community on Christmas. They do great fundraisers for kids that are at school and need bicycles. They do phenomenal things for the community. That doesn't excuse the fact that there's criminal behavior, crime, and murders that take place.
Hmm. And same thing with y'all in law enforcement. You can
Absolutely,
sit up just
absolutely.
because you can go save a cat from a tree. That doesn't negate the
Well,
fact that y'all have these
first,
white
that's
supremacist Nazi tattoos
well,
all over your legs and arms because you give each other props for killing black folks. It's some sick stuff that goes on in the department out here
well.
that you cannot clean up.
First, I'll say is the cats and the trees as firefighters. We're not lucky enough to
Right.
get that credit. The second
Hmm.
thing is, let me ask you this: if if I'm working in a body or a ghetto area and I see a vehicle, and in that vehicle, and I'm not going to be politically correct here. I want to have a real life conversation. In that vehicle, I see whether it be Mexican guys with shaved heads, or whether it be black guys with shaved heads, or white guys with shaved heads, and whether they look like Aryan Brotherhood, whether they look like some Chicago gang, or whether they look like some Mexican MS-13 gang. If they meet the look and they're in your neighborhood at an hour that they shouldn't be, and you and your family are there trying to have a good time, trying to be safe, do you not expect me to do my job, stop that car and investigate it? And if they're not up to no good, say, hey, thanks for cooperating, be on your way. Or if they are doing something bad, enforce the traffic, find the crime, arrest them, and keep your neighborhood safe? I mean, do you not want that?
Well, I would love that, but the problem is you're so corrupt out here in California. You guys allow certain gang members to go into certain neighborhoods, shoot it up, and then cause rifts. You sit up here and infiltrate gangs, and you instigate beefs between gangs so that everybody is bickering so that you can get your arrest numbers and jail numbers up. You sit up here and put task force and you create these little gang enforcements on black people who are trying to do the right thing, like my good brother Nipsey Hussle, that y'all had a goddamn task force on monitoring everybody coming out of his store. And I still believe that your department set him up to be killed. Stuff like that. You're not going to sit here and try to play officer friendly when y'all do little dirty nonsense like that. You guys are very good for your deception out here in Southern California. I've lived out here all my adult life. I've seen the filth that they've done out here. You're not going to get any props talking about, do you want to do the right thing? You guys have every opportunity to do the right thing. You've had the Rampart scandal. Your department is just rotten to the damn core. That's why you're always being investigated. There's always internal investigations. There's always millions of dollars in payouts because of the corruption that you guys have going on. Yeah, this department out here is just too rotten to the core. And that's probably one of the reasons why you got terminated and you're going through what you're going to. It's just too much filth in your department, sir. Now, why do you think it's that filthy?
I think it's that filthy because it's human nature, and bad people are going to exist.
No,
But
no.
but this is my next question. If corruption is so rampant, and we're able to hold down whatever minority, we'll just say the black people. If corruption is so rampant, and we're able to suppress the black people so much, then why is there still black crime?
Why is there black crime? There's crime everywhere. What do you mean? Why is this black crime?
No,
There's
I
crime
agree with you.
everywhere.
I agree with you. There's crime everywhere. I'm saying, as an example, if what you're saying is true, and we're so corrupt, we plant evidence, we take all the gang members down. If that's the case, why do they get out on bail? Why do the cases get dropped? And why is there still black people killing black people? Because according to you, we're in the position where we just take them all down with our corruption. So if that, I mean, they both can't exist at the same time. It's either we're super corrupt and we
What
take
you
them
talking?
all down,
What you mean
or we're
take
not
them all down?
up.
What you mean
Why
take
they're
them all
out
down?
there
Well, like you
crime?
take them all down? How? Take all? No. What do you mean take them all down? You're not taking anybody all down. See, the thing is, we're not going to wait until you genocide us. You're talking about Nazism and genocide. No, the reason why you haven't done that is we haven't allowed you. We will fight back when it gets to that point. That's why we haven't allowed you to genocide us. We,
So
as foundational Black Americans, we fight back, especially out here in California. We fight back. We're not going to let you just genocide us like that, all out.
So arresting people's genocide.
Oppression is white supremacy. You said, why don't you take them all out? No, because
So
we
then
haven't let you take us out.
this is the thing that, and maybe I'm misunderstanding you. You're
Mhm.
saying that we're holding you guys down and we're suppressing you. I'm saying
White
if that's
supremacy.
the case, then why are the black communities still so rampant with crime?
It's not. The Black community is not rampant with crime. That's a lie.
Have you looked and seen how many people were killed in Chicago this weekend?
I don't live in Chicago, and
Okay.
most of the people
How
that's
many
killed in Chicago,
all right, since we're
I
both
don't.
in
Okay,
California, we're both in California. Do you know how many people were killed in Oakland this weekend?
um, probably a bunch of Mexicans. Your community, not Black people. Your
Okay,
community, does, sir. Your community does all that stuff. That's why y'all had to flee Mexico.
let me
Why is your community so violent to the point you have to flee?
our my community is so violent, the Mexican community is so violent because they get out on probation. The cases aren't held up against them. Law enforcement arrest them and then they turn around, which promotes the gangs. They see they get away with stuff, and it makes the problems even more prolific.
But that's even before you get here. Even in your homeland, Mexico, sir, it's very violent. All the drug gangs, the drug cartels, and El Chapo. Why is it so violent in your homeland, sir?
My homeland. I was born in America.
You're Mexican, sir. Mexico is your homeland. You're just an anchor baby.
So what?
You're
So what are?
you're
So
Mexican,
let
sir.
me ask you, what are you?
I'm a foundational Black American. I'm nobody in my family's an immigrant.
So you were born in America, so you're foundational Black American.
Yes,
I could
nobody's an immigrant. I
okay.
didn't come
I
from no
so I
immigrant.
can't tell you that you're an anchor baby from Africa.
No, I ain't from. I'm not from Africa.
I'm
Nobody in
not
my
from
family.
Africa.
Nobody in my family lived in Africa for centuries, sir.
So you're telling me in your lineage,
Uh
you,
huh.
there's nowhere in your lineage that you're from another continent.
From for centuries. I'm talking about
It does
500 years.
okay. It doesn't matter if it's centuries.
Oh, it does matter. Oh,
Okay.
yes, it
So
does. No, no,
you
no. You
so
just y'all
so
just got here.
so
Okay, let's be clear.
I'm a fifth generation American that was
Um,
born here, veteran, but that just I'm still an anchor baby. The
yes,
the
because y'all fled from Mexico. My family
The
didn't.
only person in this room is that is racist is you, and I hope you learn.
That is not racist, sir. I didn't flee. Your family fled and came here.
Yeah, if that's what you want to think, man, good luck with that. But I think the people in the room have got a good understanding of who you are and where you come from.
No, I mean we're trying to compare. I didn't flee from no Africa. Nobody in my family from Africa. And even
So then,
the
so
ancestors that came from Africa
so
500 or
then you
so
don't deserve
years
any
ago.
reparations then.
Oh no, my family were enslaved here in America. Yes, so we
So your
definitely deserve
family was
reparations.
enslaved.
Yes.
Okay,
Uh-huh.
and you have documentation of that.
I absolutely do. Yes.
Okay.
Why wouldn't I have
Be,
documentation of that?
because, and unless someone wants to correct me, I know 63% of the slaves are not from the United States. So right there, that tells me the probability if your lineage was in slavery, chances are you weren't from America.
Sir, you understand, let me give you a little history lesson. 3% of the people enslaved from Africa made it to North America, a very small percentage. There were black people already here, and they mixed in with the Africans who came over.
I
But
didn't say 100%. I said 63% of the slaves have lineage to Africa. I didn't say 63% came from
no,
Africa. I said
no, no,
63% had lineage to Africa.
dude, 100% of the people on the planet got lineage to Africa. You do a DNA test, everybody
Then
has.
you're an anchor baby.
No, I'm not.
Well,
No, no, no.
if I
No,
have
no, no.
my blood
No,
lineage
no.
goes to Mexico and I'm an anchor baby, what
No,
makes you
no,
different?
no. Because I am a foundational Black American. My family built the country and we never fled. Your family fled Mexico, sir. Y'all
Okay,
fled. You
so
can't. You fled one
so,
place and came to another.
so if we want to go that way, if you
Uh huh.
remember my family, if we go back generations and generations, the United States took over Mexico, so we were a conquered land, not an anchored baby. Or does that
No.
part of history not exist either?
No. 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 California. We're in California. Let's be clear. We're in California. California has always had Black people. Do you know that?
I'm not talking about black people. I'm
Okay.
talking about you're saying I'm an anchor baby.
Yeah.
I'm saying the part of California that we live in used to belong to Mexico. Is that not true?
Sir, the Spanish dominated it, so there was a beef between the Spaniards and the British and these people, but it wasn't Mexico. You understand? Because the people who were settling this place were actually black people, and many of the people who were in Mexico were black too. Black Mexico is an indigenous black land if you want to get real technical, but I don't know if you want to go there yet. But you, sir, you're a Mexican, and a Mexican didn't exist a few centuries ago. You didn't even exist. So you can't claim something and you didn't even exist as a people, sir. So we got to be very clear on history. That's not an insult. We're just talking history in genetics, sir. I'm a foundational Black American. We've always been here. Okay. So we're different. I'm not an anchor baby because
Okay.
I'm in a country that my family built and we never ran from. So
Okay.
my thing to you talking about what black people should be doing in your homeland,
I'm not talking about.
Which is Mexico.
Let's
That's your homeland. That's your motherland. That's your mother country.
let's make something.
Spain is not your mother country. Mexico is,
Let's
and there's so much violence in Mexico, sir. And you haven't addressed that, sir. You've abandoned your homeland because it's so violent. You don't even want to claim it. You're like, oh, that's not me.
I absolutely don't claim it. I claim America. I fought for America. I'm a veteran of America.
Eh, well, you're welcome. If it weren't for foundational Black Americans building this place up, you wouldn't have a place to flee. So, yeah.
And you're welcome because if it wasn't good law enforcement officers out there, your communities would be a lot more dangerous than they
Oh,
are.
stop it. Look, you don't help our communities. That's why there's so much crime. There's a gazillion cops and there's crime. That shows how incompetent you are. That's
So
why it's better for us to
cops
put,
force you to smoke the crack pipe. Cops
sir,
force you to go
the
and build drugs on the corner.
sir, you come from the same place as El
At what
Chapo.
point do you take accountability for anything?
You come from the same place El Chapo comes from, sir. That's your
Okay.
community. That's
Okay.
your
I'll
community.
tell you what. Just for the
Where
sake
do we?
of,
We're getting it from you.
just 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 for
We're
the
getting the crack from you.
just for the sake of argument, I'll agree with you 100%. I'm El Chapo's cousin.
Yeah, we get you talking about
So,
crack. We're
so
getting it from
now that
Pablo and El Chapo. We're getting it from your community, sir. Why is your community putting
so
all the drugs in our community?
let's roll with it. Let's roll with that. I'm
Let's
good.
roll with it.
So you get it from our community, and
Yes.
cops force you to sell it to your own people.
No, they do not.
So who forces you to sell it to your own people?
Well, we don't sell it to our own people like that no more
So
because
you
we
give it
wised up.
free?
And also, the white supremacists has created economic deprivation, and people do things when they're very desperate. So is that why your community is slinging all the birds?
Just so I can understand the rest of the people listening,
Hmm.
all crime that exists in the minority communities, all crime that exists in the black communities are the result of police officers, the government,
Yes.
and nothing to do with the criminal that has the gun.
No.
Okay,
It's 100% the fault of the white supremacist
gotcha.
because we're doing it under your watch.
Gotcha. All right, clear.
And the thing is, you're not even an Anglo white
So
supremacist.
so then just to make sure I understand this, the people that have been successful, Oprah Winfrey, Michael Jordan, all the athletes,
Uh
Will
huh.
Smith,
Entertain
all that success also
black
because of cops and
black people who are allowed to entertain white people. Yes, go ahead.
so black people don't go to sporting events.
You're just naming a bunch of black people who get paid to entertain white people. What does that mean?
So once again, black people don't go to sporting events.
It doesn't matter if black people go to sporting events.
Go to
You're
sport.
naming, what does Oprah have to do with anything? Oprah is allowed to be successful. They could take Oprah down anytime they want to. They almost did. When Oprah started going after white people and talking about their beef, she's not going to eat beef. The white people went after her and almost took all of her money. Oprah is another person under the system of white supremacy.
So she's under the system of white supremacy. White supremacy tried to take her down, but she
Yeah.
conquered it. But yet, white supremacy is still that dangerous,
Yes, it is. It is because what
even though.
Oprah has to be on her P's and Q's. She can be taken out by white supremacy just like any other rich black person. Like they tried to take out Bill Cosby, like they took out Michael Jackson,
I,
like they took
I
out.
I think I have a firm understanding of what you're saying.
Right.
Nothing criminal in the black community is a result to have any accountability to do with the community or the people
No,
perpetuate.
everything has to do with white supremacy. Everything negative in black society is 100% to do with white supremacy. You didn't have to put drugs in our community. You didn't have to put guns in our community. You didn't have to put economic deprivation in our community.
Got,
It's 100% the fault of the white supremacists.
got,
Everything, because
got,
it's under your watch.
gotcha. If you can let me know where their foundations are, I would definitely like my partners to go and raid these white supremacists so we can take these people down.
They're right there in your department, sir.
Oh, gotcha,
They're
gotcha.
they're right there in your department with their tattoos.
So the police department that arrests the gang member with the gun, and then the gang member out before the police officer with the report.
And
That's what.
stop it. And they don't arrest gang members with guns. They arrest black people for jaywalking. They arrest black people for traffic warrants. They arrest black people for humbug charges. They arrest black people for loitering. They're not arresting black people for guns. See, that's the lie that y'all like to tell. You're not taking criminals off the street.
So
You
what you're telling
you,
me,
you listen, no,
I,
you what you do,
I haven't arrested.
y'all, no, what y'all do is cowardly attack innocent black people. That's how cowardly you are. Some of these race soldiers just ran up in a black man's home recently out there, Muirlock. He wasn't a criminal. He was at home sleeping. They ran up and killed him. Ran up in Breonna Taylor's house and killed her. You guys pride yourselves on killing and harming innocent black people. You don't do anything about the criminals. The criminals work for you. You let the criminals out on the street. That's why they're criminals. The criminals are working with you guys. That's why they get out so easily. Notice the people with the guns, y'all don't ever really kill them. Y'all always kill innocent black people who are harmless and unarmed. Isn't that kind of strange?
It is because I've actually been in 4 shootings. I only returned fire in 2 of those shootings, and in all 4 of those shootings, one was a Nazi lowrider gang member,
Mm-hmm.
were Mexicans, and the fourth one was a black person. So
Mm-hmm.
either I'm taking on the United Nations of criminals, or your theory on what you're saying is inaccurate.
Mm.
And these shootings were not people pulling out cell phones and wallets. These were people that were literally shooting at me. Unless you don't think that existed either.
And I, sir, my house has been raided on live television by some white supremacists doing what they call swatting. And the LAPD was in on it. And I've been very public about saying that the LAPD was in on it. So, sir, there's a lot of negativity that goes on with these situations.
Well,
And
then let me
you
let me
guys,
ask
you
you
guys
this.
are supposed to be in a position to protect us. The
Well, let,
criminals are not.
Well, let me ask you this last part because I'm sure other people want the mic and I don't want to filibuster it.
Right,
Based on what, and obviously you don't know me, so you can only judge me on the conversation we've had tonight. Do
right.
I meet the molding of a white supremacist to you?
I wouldn't say you're a white supremacist, but I would suspect that you could be one. I'm not saying you are, but just based on some of the ideologies that you have, I could suspect that you could possibly be. I don't know, but I would have to look at you suspiciously until I'm proven otherwise.
Okay.
I
Do you,
would say that.
do you realize that me and you have something very important in common?
What is that, sir?
That I too was also swatted on January 15th of 2021.
Now, who swatted you? How'd you get swatted, and who
I,
swatted
I got swatted by the FBI. Do you want to top that one?
you? Oh, okay. That was a raid. That wasn't a SWAT. You got raided.
So it said FBI SWAT on their vest. I think that's called swatting.
No, that's not swatting. No, no, no. That's not swatting because they try to play swatting off as a practical joke. Now, you got raided because of the corruption that goes on in the department over there. They swatted me and my innocent family.
Would you like to know why they
Why?
swatted slash raided me?
Why did they raid you?
Because of my Twitter posts.
Oh, what'd you say?
I said we need to fight for America. But I should have told them that I'm an anchor baby from Mexico.
No, no, no. There was something else you said. They didn't raid you
The
just for
post
saying
the
that.
post is still there and the warrant's public information.
No, there was some other stuff. They must have ties to you and some of them white supremacist gangs within the department. So we got to
Well,
see what's
this
going
is
on with
this
you.
this is what I'll tell you. You got the check mark on your name, so that means you got some pull. Freedom of Information Act. Request my warrants. Request the search warrants, and you're gonna see exactly. There's 6 posts. The one I just told you is still on my profile, and you will see that's exactly what it was.
Okay, I would have to look in that and see what's going on because I don't know if you're part of the executioners or one of these deputy gangs that they have. I don't know. So we'll have to see. We'll have to investigate. But anyway, it's very nice talking to you to get an insight from your perspective. And I appreciate you for calling in, sir.
Likewise.
All right. All right, man. Boy, these folks, these people, these are dangerous folks, man. These are dangerous folks. He knows what's happening. This guy knows how corrupt they are. This guy knows the level of corruption within his department. Folks don't know. We're my California people, my SoCal people. The police departments out here are rotten to the damn core. These people, they're full of criminal gangs. Sitting up here talking about gangbangers and all that. They're not arresting no damn violent gangbangers. These people arrest innocent people for having on certain colors, man. Y'all stop that game. He's using all of these right wing talking points. These people arrest regular people trying to do the right thing. They don't really arrest criminals like that. The people out here doing all the violence, there's a reason why they're out doing violence because the county jail is full of people who got caught up on humbug charges. County jail is full of people in there on jaywalking warrants, traffic warrants, child support payments. That's what the county is full of. And then they mark them down as gang members. Yeah, don't let them run that game on y'all, man. Let's get some more people in here. We're in here chopping it up heavy. Raise your hand if you want to get on. We got a lot of folks in here tonight. Raise your hand if you want to get on. All right, we'll try a couple of more people. All right, we got Jeff with a big ass bear on his thing. All right, Jeff, hop on. You got a big bear on your thing. Hop on, Jeff.
Hi, Tariq. So I just want to say, first of all, I listened to some of your spaces, but I haven't hopped on because this one specifically says non-FBA, and I am a Anglo-American. So
There you go. Where you from? Where you from?
Indiana.
Okay, there
But
you go. Now
sorry,
are you Irish, German? Where's your family from?
mostly England, some Germany, some Ireland, but mostly England.
Got it. Okay, what's on your mind?
Okay, yeah. So you've mentioned reparations before. Some people, when they talk about reparations, will say like money reparations, and some, like I guess black nationalists. I'm not sure if that's what you'd call yourself, but some black nationalists say they want like land reparations in the form of like creating some independent country in like the deep south of Mississippi and Alabama. Do you have any preference between those two?
I would say cash payments. It has to be cash payments, or land grants. Land grants. We can just kind of live anywhere we want to live. I wouldn't say a special state because the white supremacists would just poison the water and try to sabotage it. The best thing to do would be cash payments, the same way they give cash payments to Native American tribes. They can make it real simple, and then we'll go buy whatever land we want to buy.
Right.
That would be a simple thing. So it's real simple. It's not rocket science. Do you agree we should get cash payments, sir?
I I don't agree completely, but I'm not completely against the idea.
Now, why don't you agree? Why shouldn't foundational Black Americans get cash payments?
Okay. So my main issue with it, I'm not, like I said, I'm not completely opposed to it. Because
why are you opposed at all? You shouldn't be opposed at all. Why are you opposed at all?
Because I don't see where you draw the line in terms of which historical. Because I don't see where you draw the line in terms of which historical groups should get reparations and which shouldn't. Because
yes, we draw the line. Oh yes, we do draw the line. Foundational Black Americans, Black people who descended from slaves in America. That's very clear. No other group should get slave reparations because no other group was enslaved over here like that.
Right.
It was us, one group of people, and that is us, our people.
Yes.
So it's not rocket science, sir.
I agree with that. I'm not denying that. But my question would be, should a country, I'm saying this in good faith, by the way, completely good faith.
Yes. Okay.
Should Italy, modern day Italy, should they pay the modern day United Kingdom reparations because 1,500 years ago, the Roman Empire enslaved English people?
Well, you don't have the Roman Empire anymore. There's no Roman Empire. That government, as it existed years ago, doesn't exist anymore. So that's obsolete. The government that enslaved us, it's still here. The government is still here. The same constitution is here, just a few amendments here and there. This is the same government. So the same government that aggrieved us back in antebellum slavery is still here, reaping the benefits and passing down the wealth generated from that enslavement. And we've been locked out of that. So there's a debt that is owed to us. So we have nothing to do with that comparison as far as Italy and England or whatever. We are still here. We didn't leave. We didn't flee. We're still here under this government, and we're still being economically locked out of the money our family generated for this country. And we need that paper. That makes sense?
Yeah, that completely makes sense. I also do want to say that I really respect your argument that this is your country and we're going to stay here and fight, because too many people have a mentality of, oh, this place sucks, I'm going to go off and somewhere else. And you have a mentality of, we're going to stay and fight for the place that we built, which I think is a good mentality. And then one other question I wanted to ask is, so you've been saying, you said 5 minutes ago about how you want cash payments because if the white people give you land, then they'll be messing with you like they have for 400 years. Do you think in your ideal world, is there a future of a multiracial democracy between white people and black people, or would you want to have some sort of separated thing so that way the white people will stop messing with you guys?
What we have to have is a system of justice, okay? We can't have a system of white supremacy, this thing where people who believe in white supremacy feel like they have to dominate and control and mistreat the non-white people. That's just not going to work in the long run. It's not working now. It's kind of unraveling now. And the only way they're maintaining that system now is because of military force. That's why they spend $1 gazillion in military. All of the domestic military weaponry they use just for foundational Black Americans. The problem is, and many historians have said this, when they have to subjugate a group of people militarily, that's the beginning of the decline of a society majorly, because the money is going to run out eventually. You can't keep dumping all of your money into military protection from a specific group of people. This is why they like to try to manipulate us and deceive us politically and other ways so they can kind of save money. If they can manipulate us and have us manipulate ourselves, that would be better because they wouldn't have to do military enforcement. So deception is the better thing. But we're not being so easily deceived now. And again, they just can't keep dumping money. You can't keep rolling out tanks and weapons and rockets. And your money is going to run out. And when the money runs out, that's when the real problems are going to start. So it's best to just produce justice because foundational Black Americans, we're very resilient and we have time and we're always going to keep standing up for justice. So you might as well start producing it now.
I would disagree a little bit that that America like in the 1700s was using the United States military to crush slave revolts. And we as a country we've used the military to kind of oppress Black people since day one. So I don't think that that's a sign necessarily of it ending anytime soon. Is that the
Now listen,
military is getting
let
involved?
me give you an example.
Mm-hmm.
How slavery really ended. Because
Mm-hmm.
what happened, and I'm doing a documentary about this, in the mid 1800s, the United States was losing a lot of money because they were fighting the Black Seminoles down in Florida. And they like to keep quiet about this because this has been somewhat of an embarrassment for the United States. The US government was losing the battle against the Black Seminoles. The Black Seminoles were whooping their asses in Florida. They couldn't beat them and they were losing money. The military was getting beaten. They were throwing so much money down there, and they were telling the people that they were fighting the Red Indians, but they didn't want to tell the people that they were really trying to recover runaway slaves down in Florida. That's what it was really about. They didn't want to tell the public that though, and they were losing government money. Also, Black people were burning down plantations in Florida left and right. So that was affecting the insurance companies. They had to pay out a lot of stuff. So that was messing with the American economy. So they had to come to a deal and they had to send the Black Seminoles out west. So that crippled the economy to a certain degree. And then the Civil War popped off. So that was another thing. So all of these things happening back to back. That's why they had to stop and say slavery. We will just formal slavery. We have to cut it out because that's economically harming the country, that's causing too many rifts. So again, trying to fight something militarily like that, it causes a ripple effect, and that causes another ripple effect, and then that just messes up all the money, and then everything goes to hell. So it's best to just produce justice. Again, they weren't winning these battles down in the South. Some of these slave revolts were more successful than they like to tell you. But again, that's the story for another day.
I do have to ask, what do you think about Abraham Lincoln's plan in the 1860s of Liberia and sending
Yeah,
all of the?
yeah, yeah. He also wanted to send people to Panama. They wanted to send people
Mhm.
to a few places. Yeah, the Liberian thing. Yeah, that was another con game. Most Black people didn't want to go to Liberia because we knew that we weren't. A lot of Black people were not actually from Africa culturally. Black people have been on this land for centuries, even centuries before Columbus. So Black people knew they were not culturally African. Some Black people respected Africa. They understood that. Frederick Douglass was one of the people who was vehemently against Black people going to Africa. He said, hey, this is our homeland. This is where we're from. We've been here and we're going to stay and fight here. What they sent to Liberia were a bunch of free Black people who were the children of white slave owners, to be honest. Also, they sent a lot of Caribbeans over there to Liberia. And there was some interesting things going on over there. It was too many culture clashes over there. The Black Americans did help stop the slave trade because they were still engaging in the slave trade over there in Liberia and the west coast of Africa. So they stopped a lot of that. But there was a
They
lot
still
of
are.
yeah, absolutely. I do agree with that. So yeah, there was a lot of stuff that we just couldn't get down with. We were clashing culturally, so that wasn't a good look. So Black folks here decided, hey, we're going to stay and fight for what we have here.
Um, I'm curious. Have you ever taken any form of DNA test or done ancestry research to find out where your family was like 600 years ago?
Yeah, I have. What's interesting, it's like 30% of my shit goes to Europe somewhere. I'm like, okay,
Yeah.
okay. I'm
I
like,
think that's pretty common, and
yeah,
that's something that they don't talk about in schools because it's a pretty nasty history. But yeah, that's pretty common with I guess FBAs of being like
yeah.
30% European.
Yeah. So I have a small percentage of some Native American tribe over here, which the markers they don't know. I don't know which markers they're using because with Native American tribes, it's interesting because certain tribes were kind of named by the Spanish and other Europeans when they came. So, for example, there's no such thing as the Creek Indians. It was just a bunch of Indians living by a creek, and the white people said guys are the Creek Indians. The
Right.
Navajo Indians, that's not even their name. They're called the Dene. The Navajo, I think that's an amalgamation of the word thief. So in Seminole, that Seminole means Cimarron, which is runaway. So they were giving people these names. So I don't know what markers they're using to determine who's who over here. The lineage here is real fuzzy. So they just kind of trace everybody back to three places: Europe, Asia, and Africa. And
Yeah.
when you do DNA tests, that's where it goes. So that's kind of vague within itself,
Well, most Native Americans are descended. They're closely
Asian,
related to like China and stuff.
yeah, right. The
Yeah.
Mongolian,
Yeah.
yeah,
Exactly.
yeah, because they came over. So yeah, if you do a DNA test on a Native American, it'll probably just say Asia somewhere.
Yeah.
And even black people who were indigenous here, you can have black people who have lineage in the Americas for like 500, 600, or even 700 years, or even hell, 1,000 years, and the DNA will just go to Africa.
Hmm.
So that's just what it is.
Yeah. Ancestry. I think everyone should get involved in ancestry and just learn about the story of their ancestors and what they went through, and it'll be a positive thing for just about everyone.
Yes,
Yep.
indeed. Yes, indeed. I thank you so much, Jeff,
Yeah,
man.
but one thing I just want to say, I'm a white guy, I'm an Anglo, but if I was black, I would love you and all of your content. But it's like I respect you and I think everything you do is awesome. But like it's like it's two different things. It's like I can respect you and think what you're doing is really cool, but it's not about my people. Do you get that?
Yeah, but why wouldn't white people like me? Why wouldn't they?
Yeah, because you're a cool guy and you're funny.
Right. And I
Yeah,
tell the truth. I'm not saying anything that's incorrect, and
yeah,
I'm not even being mean spirited about it. I'm not
right.
one of these people. Hey, you dumb cracker! I don't do all that. I'm
Yeah.
very polite to people. I'm just telling the truth about history. Yeah,
And you're doing it in a way that people aren't getting from anywhere else.
right,
Like the narrative from CNN of if you're black, you're just supposed to vote for the Democratic Party until
right,
the day you die.
right,
Whereas you're saying something that a lot of people have never heard before.
right. Yeah, the Democrats like to put all the racism on the right wing people, and no, yeah, they're not going to do that. No, the Democrats are damn near worse than them as far as racism. Yeah, so the
Yeah.
Democrats are not going to get a pass doing that. So, all
Yeah.
right, my man, let me get some other folks on here, man.
All
But I
right.
thank you
Thank
so
you.
much.
Thank
All
you.
right. All right, let's see. We got who is this woman? We got Sweet and Low. Okay, let's get Sweet and Low in here. All right, Sweet and Low, hop on, ma'am.
Hi. So I'm not going to get like political or anything on here. My mind is blown right now because my dad was American Indian. We're registered Choctaw, but my
Uh-huh.
mom is Swedish Norwegian. So uh, all of this conversation is blowing my mind right now. I had no idea. Like, do where can I go to get more information on the things that you're talking about?
Well, you can go get my book on Amazon. I got a book called Foundational Black American Race Baiter. It's on Amazon, and you can get that now. I talk about a lot of this stuff, and it has other references that you can check out as well from other.
Okay, that would be awesome. Is there any way you could send that to me? Can you message me that
Yeah, just
information?
go to
Because
Amazon. Just you just go to and you can go to Amazon and just type in Foundational Black American Race Baiter, and the book will come up. It's real easy.
okay, awesome. I'm going to do that. Thank you. I don't want to take anyone else's time.
So much. All right, let me see. Let's get Dave in here. I think Dave is up there in Canada, right? Let's get Dave here. Hop on, Dave. Shout out to everybody in the room. We are deep in the room tonight. Dave, hop in.
Hello.
Hey, Dave, how are
Oh,
you?
good. I'm from Canada, and I do a lot of work. I'm white, but I do a lot of work with the First Peoples here in Canada, and we got a lot going on, and I happened to about I guess 4 days ago, Ice Cube went on Facebook. He hardly ever does, but he was pretty down in the dumps, and he was going on about the history of slavery and being repatriated by the government. And I've gone through North America in First Peoples history right through American Indian, Canadian Indian. They are the same people. They still have the same treaty rights to cross border over all of us, right? But
Mm-hmm.
I'd go through colonialism, all the colonials, the entirety of America's history from the 13 colonies in independence, all the way through America. And I mean all of them. Slavery of Spain brought to Americas through South America, all the way up into the United States. I've seen the entirety of the French, all the way through to Louisiana and beyond. British, obviously, we all know that history, and that's both sides. And when we talk about reparation, like I just Caribbean islands, I've gone through all those people. I'm looking at Belize, Jamaica, we're crown, obviously in Canada. I don't know if you guys realize that, and they're ditching their crown. Those Caribbean, African descendants, they're ditching the crown. They've had enough of that. And I
Right.
guess my question for you is if you were to go, like what I'm going to be doing, I'm coming to the United States and I want to go state by state. Myself and my girlfriend, she's a Treaty 4 Indian. I know that doesn't make much sense to you folks there, but they, when we look at all these different colonial histories for all of America and everything America fought, I mean, perpetual state of war since independence, all those colonials who brought slavery and atrocity in different ways, all against African Americans with history from all over the world, whether they were taken directly in Africa or taken from Asia, Europe, and that's happened. Would you guys be interested in looking at repatriation of the entire colonials per each state and peoples and their state history in percentage wise? Because I look at that for the first peoples. I know that the American Indian today, 6.7 million in the United States of America, they're not going to be down. Like I don't know if you guys realize this. It's nation within a nation in the United States, and they have about basically 135% more land than all Canadians and all our First Peoples combined. That's Inuit, Métis, and of course ceded and unceded Indians because of our unavailability to Crown land. But you guys are all seated there, and if we get into repatriation, that starts to grab at the American Indian. And if you looked at that, and would repatriation, if we could target colonials, be an avenue
Now, repatriate to where?
to African Americans in the United States in the absolute history of slavery, and even worse, guys. Like I know,
No, 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 no. Slow down, because you're all over the place. Now, repatriate. You go somewhere. You leave one place and go somewhere else. Go where?
I'm not saying go anywhere. What I'm saying is, well, I'm not saying go anywhere, but I guess repatriation with lands, like there are jewels all over the Caribbean here that there are no African Americans besides a mobile workforce from Europe. That's the
Oh, I'm gonna have to let him go. I have to let him go. I don't know what he's talking about, guys. I'm trying to give him a chance. He's just kind of rant. I have no idea what he's talking about, to be honest, and I just don't know. I tried to give him a chance, and yeah, he was just kind of all over the place. I wasn't getting the gist of where he was going, so I just had to let that slide. Dave, I'm sorry, bro. I didn't know what you were talking about, brother, and I'm pretty sure everybody else in the room was a little confused. I'm trying to give you a chance, but this was I don't know where you were going. Um, who did I just put on? I put somebody on. Um, let me see. Let's get who's saying what's a Hunsnai, whatever your name is. Hunsnai. Okay. Hans Nye. I think that's your name. Okay, he got out of here. Okay, come on now. Don't hop on here if you don't want to get on. And the people are just flicking around back and forth. Let's raise your hand if you want to get on. Raise your hand if you want to get on. And by the way, my book, Foundational Black American Race Beta, is available right now on Amazon. You can get that on Amazon right now, ladies and gentlemen. Foundational Black American Race Beta on Amazon right now. All right, let's get raise your hand. Let me see some hands in here. Who is this person? Let's get advocacy journalist in here. Let's get this person in. All right, then we'll get Moataz. I get you in next, Moataz. But advocacy journalism, hop on.
Hi there, Tariq. My name is Suzanne Simon. I'm the chief editor for George Floyd News. Have good evening.
How are you?
I'm good. I'm definitely non FBA. I used to, up until 3 months ago or so, I used to answer your next question, what I know it might be, refer to myself as German Italian, but now I've been learning from FBA and um, Native Americans and freedmen and everybody. And I started 3 months ago looking up my lineage, and it goes back to Middle Eastern and African. So I don't know what to call myself yet, but I'm definitely white and definitely non FBA, second generation American.
So, where in the Middle East did your family come
It
from?
was called media back as far as I can go, and then that doesn't exist anymore. It was taken over by Alexander the Great, and now it was media and Persia. Then it was turned into Iran, which we call Iran now, and something else overlaps it, where the Kurdish people were originally from before they moved to Iraq.
Now, your great grandparents, because if you thought you were German, Irish, or whatever, you were only a few generations here. Where did your grandparents come from?
German, and then the other set came from Italy.
Got it. Okay. And what state are you in now?
New Jersey.
New Jersey. There you go. So what's on your mind, ma'am?
Oh, I'm just chiming in because I'm allowed, because it says non FBA.
Yes. Okay.
So I just wanted to say hello to you. I've been listening to some of these people. That guy from Canada was definitely throwing some word salad at you.
Yeah. I was trying to follow him, but yeah, I just lost my man. But anyway, I appreciate you. Thank you so much. Let me get Moataz in here. Moataz.
Hey, Tariq. Thanks for having me on and letting me speak. I actually first heard of you about a year or so ago, and I remember I think it was Kevin Hart that threw some shade at you in some comment somewhere. And I didn't really follow you much since then, but you've certainly grown quite a bit, so congratulations on that.
Thank
you. So, it's really interesting listening to you speak, and I'm trying to see if I can connect the dots with some of the other movements that have come in the past, because one of the disconnects that I see in your messaging is that it's very much about foundational Black Americans. And for me, I think the problem is a lot more universal. I mean, kudos to you that you want to focus on that group. I'm not against that at all. As a matter of fact, I support it. There's nothing wrong with that. I have my own groups that I want to focus on as well.
Right.
But I always wonder if we would all have so much more success if we had a more universal approach to remedying what is essentially an illness that we are the symptom of. And that's the way the United States has been run for the last 400 plus years. Any thoughts on that?
Yeah. Let me chime in. Now, I see a flag in your profile. Now, where are you from?
Well, I'm Egyptian. Ancestry-wise, I'm Egyptian. And actually, I've done my genealogy, and I'm predominantly African, West African. But I do have a little bit of European in me.
Right. Yeah. You should have Turk in you. A lot of the Egyptians are actually Turkish.
No Turk in me whatsoever.
Okay.
I get where you're going, but no Turk in me whatsoever. And I'm an American citizen as well, so I'm an American as well.
Because I want the audience to know, when somebody says they're Egyptian, that's not like the ancient Kemetic people. back in the prehistoric days. It's not like them. Most of the people there now are Arab Turks, so they're not the same as the people who built the pyramids.
I got to tell you, you're wrong about that. And I don't mean to cut you off, but you're
Go ahead.
wrong about that. So I'll tell you, my background is from the south of Egypt. I mean, I could trace that West African side of me that goes way back to like ancient Egypt. So, and there's a lot of Egyptians like that, but they don't live in the north. And the north
Okay,
is only about 20 or 30 million Egyptians. And Egypt's
right.
got 130 million people in it, or 120 million people in it. So, but anyways, go ahead.
The southern, yeah, the ones down in the south, yeah, they're jet black. Yeah, those are black folks for real. Those are black people down there. So, now, are you an Arab or Muslim?
I don't consider myself an Arab.
Okay,
And Arabs, if you go by genealogy, are the folks who are in the island of Arabia, which south is Yemen, north is Saudi Arabia, Kuwait. It's the Arabian Peninsula.
right,
And then there are people who identify as Arab because they speak Arabic, and
right,
I'm not one of those folks. I speak Arabic, but I don't identify as Arab because I speak Arabic. So there's a disconnect there, and we could probably have a whole talk about
right.
it.
Because again, when I was over there, I met some people down in southern Egypt, and they were totally different from the ones in the north. The ones in the southern part, they were like, proud of their blackness. They're like, I'm black. All this shit is black, 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 black. So they look like me. The ones up there in Cairo, they were the more lighter, Middle Eastern, quote unquote, Arab looking. But that's another thing. So what you were saying. Um, why should we focus on foundational Black Americans? Should we focus on diversity more? The problem is the only people who's been focusing on the diversity melting pot narrative is foundational Black Americans. We are literally the only group that has a diverse melting pot narrative within our culture. Other groups don't have that diversity. White people, when y'all come over here from the Middle East or whatever, you're not living among white people in large numbers. And if one or two of you live among white people, they have to screen you and make sure that you leave your culture way back home. They don't play that. Other groups don't play that diversity thing. We are the only group who's been on the diverse thing, and we've done it to our chagrin because now we've allowed other people to kind of bury us culturally, extrapolate resources and culture from us, and that has kind of left us destitute. So now we're gatekeeping our culture to a certain degree, and we're prioritizing getting tangibles for foundational Black Americans because we've helped so many other groups come over and thrive, and we've neglected ourselves for so long because of this non-existent minority diversity coalition. So we can't have something that has never really existed except in Black society, and it just doesn't work for us anymore. That makes sense.
Yeah, it does if your launching point, which it sounds to me like is your launching point, is identity. I'm, my perspective really focused on the disease itself. I mean, for me, America is basically a colonialist pirate enterprise that conquers territory. First, it started with conquering territory within North America, and then thereafter, it's gone out and it's been conquering territory outside of North America. And if you look at it from that perspective, if that is the disease, then what you're talking about is a band-aid, or dealing with one symptom of the disease. If you listen to guys like Martin Luther King or Malcolm X, especially, they were really at it for years and years, just toe to toe with the American empire. And the conclusion both of them arrived at is they need to have a more universal approach if they're really going to resolve the problem. And ironically enough, well, not ironically at all, really, that's when they were taken out, when they started to have a universal message. That's when Malcolm X was killed. That's when Martin Luther King was killed. So, I really do wonder if that is the right way, which is why when folks get to that point, and if they're leaders and they're in leadership roles, they're eliminated by the system.
Well, here's the thing. It's not just the American empire. The problem is not just America. The problem is global white supremacy. Because understand, even in Britain, Britain has conquered most of these countries and done the same thing America's done. Britain and the white supremacists here, they're cousins. They run neck and neck. The white supremacists from America came out of Britain. Remember, the British also went into India, conquering and dominating and mistreating the people. The Britons went over there to Australia and wiped out all the Tasmanians in the very next island. They've been committing genocide all over the planet. All of the white supremacists, not just America, they're all working together. They're all allies in this genocidal white supremacist regime. So the problem is only one group is consistently fighting white supremacy. Let's be very honest. All of these other groups have been psychologically conquered, not just physically conquered, because we're physically conquered. All of us are physically conquered, but we're not psychologically conquered, meaning we're still fighting the white supremacists. Us as foundational Black Americans. Other groups are just trying to come along and they're trying to get a good deal under it. They don't have a problem being second fiddle. They don't have a problem being an honorary white supremacist as long as they don't get treated like black folks. See, they've created a racial hierarchy with black people on the bottom. And the white supremacists, they've dangled this carrot to all of these other groups. They said, hey, look, we'll let you be second fiddle. We won't be as hard on you as long as you don't really ally with those folks on the bottom. That's why nobody allies with us. We've always been on our own. So there is no diversity, coalition, whatever, unless y'all put in some work. You have to show and prove. If you want to show some diversity, help us get the money we need, the funds we need, and the fighting we need. Other than that, we don't have a coalition, and we're fine with that because we're on our own anyway. We need other folks to start fighting white supremacy where they are. Everybody's trying to come over here to what we built. We built the United States. Let's be very clear. The white supremacists didn't even do that. They failed when they tried to do it on their own. Foundational Black Americans built this spot, and we're the ones who fight for the resources and the justice that people get when they get over here. And that has to be respected. If it's not respected, we let everybody do their thing.
So I respect everything you said, and I totally get the points that you're making. I'm not even disagreeing with them.
Right.
I think we started this conversation with trying to figure out what the disease is,
Right.
because what I was trying to bring your attention to was maybe focusing on being a foundational Black American and focusing on how to remedy the wrongs that foundational Black Americans have suffered. Is only a symptom of the greater disease. And you hit the nail on the head when you first started, if I may say so. You're like, hey, listen, the white supremacists that are here, they started out in the UK, and before that, they were somewhere else, and these guys are going all over the world. And you're absolutely right about that. I agree. And so when I say, it's not. When I say it's America, you're right. I'm saying that because I'm an American, and so that's where I take my responsibility as an American. But the
Right.
problem is absolutely global. It sure is.
Yes, it is.
But the head of the Hydra, I mean, is the United States at the moment. It used to be Great Britain, and somehow, that Anglo-Saxon white supremacist creed has taken over the American government, or maybe it was always there to begin with. They just did a really good job covering it. And
Right.
to answer the last point you made, and I think this is really important for you, I strongly disagree that. Yeah, Black folks are always at the bottom of the totem pole, and I'll bring some really interesting examples to your attention. Because it's all about what mission white supremacy has at the time, and that's how it organizes its racial hierarchy at the time. So Russians now are at the very bottom of the totem pole because white
Oh,
supremacy is going after Russia because it's got an agenda in Ukraine that Russia's standing in the way of, and that agenda in Ukraine is apparently seminal to white supremacy, right? And so that's why Russians are the new bottom of the racial or national totem pole,
no,
whichever way we want to look at it. But I'll also, and this is
hold
another great
on.
example. I'm
Wait.
sorry.
No, no, no. Let me. No, 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 no. No, 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 no. That's not it. No, they're not. They don't put them Russians on the bottom of the totem pole. No, no, no. See, we got to understand. Just because two white supremacists are fighting, that doesn't mean that they devalue one lower than black people. A lot of times, they just fight to see who's going to control us. Let's be very, very clear. Just like when the United States was fighting Germany, the Nazis, they were treating the Nazi criminals better than they were treating black soldiers. The United States was fighting Nazi Germany. My family members, I had uncles going over there to Nazi Germany, fighting in Nazi Germany, and the some of those top brass Nazis were brought over to the United States and they got jobs with the American government. My family came back and had to deal with Jim Crow and racial segregation. So just because two groups of white supremacy are fighting, that doesn't mean that they devalue each other. Even in the Civil War, they were slaughtering each other in the Civil War. after the Civil War happened, they dusted each other off and said, okay, now let's get back to subjugating these Negroes. The laws against black people got even more oppressive after the Civil War. Just like with Russia, they're just having a little power trip right now. Once they get this stuff going and get it done, they're going to be back to business practicing white supremacy on the non-white people of the planet. So let's not say that the Russians are lower than black people on the racial pecking order in the system of white supremacy, because that's just not true. We got to be very clear with facts here.
Yeah, okay. I'm not going to disagree with that. Those are points very well made. I guess you said what I said in a more pointed and eloquent way, which
Right.
is it's a couple of white supremacists having a disagreement at the moment, and they're going to get back to subjugating the rest of us once they're done with each other. Great argument.
Yeah.
Great point, well made. And
Right.
and so this is the thing that I was kind of drawing your attention to still, which is, in my view, I think Martin Luther King had hit it on the head, Malcolm X had hit it on the head. Everyone who is not a white supremacist, and that is, and I'm taking that now out of the identity context completely. You could be a white person who is anti-white supremacy. You're on my team. That's the way I view as a actual resolution to the real problem, because it's a matter of beliefs far more than it is a matter of identity. I'm Egyptian. I identify as an American as well. I'm a Muslim, but I'm, I can't say that I practice my faith as so many other ardent Muslims do. And especially if you talk to me, if you put me in a room with a guy that's telling me, oh, we have to go kill non-Muslims, I'd fight that guy before I fight on his side. So this is what I mean. I think it's your beliefs that really matter. It's not so much your identity. And I think you're in my perspective. And I respect you on all your success. I congratulate you on all your success, and I respect your viewpoint, and I support your viewpoint. But my idea of resolving the actual disease that you're complaining about stems from a far different strategy. And I would say that it's far closer to, the things that were said by Martin Luther King before he passed away, and Malcolm X before he was killed. Both of them, actually.
There you go. Thank you so much, bro. Let me get some more callers here. All right, let me get some more callers. Let's get let me see. Pope. Let's get Pope in here. I think Pope, is that a South African flag? Pope. Let's get Pope in here. Pope, hop in. What's up, Pope? Gonna get Pope in here. Hop in, Pope. I'm good. How you doing, Pope?
I'm okay, my brother. Thank you for the
Now,
wonderful.
you're in South Africa, right?
Yes,
You're
sir.
in South Africa?
Yeah. Yes.
There you go. What's on your mind?
All right. Like I just have a couple of questions, especially to you, my brother. The FBA. I just want to know, like, if ever you guys believe in black solidarity, you know, that do you guys believe that we as blacks can be united across the whole planet and actually work together to promote black unity, the economy and everything like that, to make sure that black people are better off, like, do you believe that is
Right.
possible?
Well, we thought it was possible for a long time because that's what we were thriving for. The problem is the black people over there where you are in Africa, you guys are not even on the same page. So, how can we have a global black community of unity and us fighting against oppression when right there on the motherland, all of those countries, everybody is so divided, not just within the different parts of the continent, within the countries there, the people are divided by a gazillion different tribes within each country. So why is there so much division there? Why hasn't everybody over there got on the same page?
Wow. All right. You have made a very big point there, because like, that's one thing that actually seems to be the stumbling block, um
Right, right. And that's the thing, brother. When y'all get it together, that's when we'll circle back around to holler at you. Because we've been trying to for years, we tried to do the Pan-Africanism thing, and we're like, hey, this ain't working. And it ain't working because People over there ain't trying to make it work. They're so divided over there. If y'all can't get it together over there with somebody within your own community, you can't get it together globally. That's why when people do come over there, leave there and come over here, they try to have the same tribalism with us too many times. So y'all got to get it together over there. It's really important to get it together over there. What's up, Wayne? Let's get Wayne Dredsky on here.
My guy, man. First off, man, I appreciate you having this format where people can be transparent and professional manner, express their thoughts, have these thought provoking conversations, man. And definitely what you're doing, man. Hats off to you, number one.
Yes, sir.
Not to go on a random like tangent, nothing. I'm straight geeky like South Carolina, so I know my ancestors and I even know my slave master bunkum and stuff. My granddaddy got killed by the Klan. Like it's real. Like you see what I'm saying? Like grandparents' houses get bombed up. That's what it is. So what I just wanted to throw out there, sometimes people's stupidity can cost them historically. And this is something an elder told me, right? They said, you know what? Those Confederates would have won the war if they weren't scared to take our blood. They were so, on them battlefields, they had an endless amount of blood where they could have had blood transfusions during the Civil War. But because they were so on that mentality, like, oh, we ain't taking out blood, we ain't gonna take their blood. Well, I'd rather die than get their blood in me. You see what I'm saying? So,
Yeah.
you fast forward now, but it's like that level of not understanding or whatever that point in life, but you fast forward now and see like how a decision like that changing the course of history. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no doubt, man. But thank you so much for the call, brother. And another thing about the Civil War, let's be very clear. The reason why the Confederates lost was because the Union said, hey, let's let these Negroes fight. The only reason the Confederates started losing, because when we talk about the Civil War, let's be clear, the North was losing at first. The Union Army was getting dusted off by the Confederates. If you look at the early battles of the Civil War, the Confederates were lighting that ass up. And remember, a lot of the military schools were in the South. Even now, West Point, all of those military schools were always in the South. So they had military strategies. The North said, hey, we need to start recruiting these Negroes. And what they also did, they started recruiting Maroons. They were getting black people who were living in them swamps, who was whooping ass for centuries. They started bringing them Maroons into the Union Army. And that's when the Union started to beat the Confederates. It was black people putting in that work. All right. Don't ever let them tell the narrative that all these white people sacrificed to save us. No, it was black people fighting in the Civil War, putting in some work, making it happen. Let's get a couple of more calls on here. And by the way, y'all get my book, Foundational Black American Race Beta. I see my sister Tia's in here. Everybody say what's up to my sister Tia. My lovely sister Tia in here. I saw Tia in here somewhere. What's up, baby girl? Where you at, Tia? I saw my sister Tia in here somewhere. Oh, there she is. Everybody's waved to my sister Tia Marie in here. Y'all go follow my sister. And let's see. Let's get a couple of more folks in here. I ain't gonna be on too long, and I end up on here long. Let's get Raz DB. Okay, my dude looks like he has on a do-rag or something. So Raz DB, hop on, brother. Turn your microphone on, DB. Unloosen your do-rag and turn your microphone on, brother. Okay. I think his do-rag has cut off his circulation. His do-rag is around his ears and he can't hear me. Turn your microphone on. Take the do-rag from around your ears, brother. Okay. Now let me try some other people. I don't want y'all to mess up the flow here. Okay. Let's try. Oh, also I see a Somalian flag, and I hope it ain't none of that foolishness. But yeah, we got Adol, somebody. Hop on, man. Let's see. Adol something. And you have a moon. I don't know what's on your back. But Borada, whatever your name is, turn your microphone on. Okay, Borada, turn your microphone on. All right, don't request if you're not ready to get on. or if you have a janky phone. A doll, you know good and well your phone is not really prone to go live. You know you don't have enough gigabytes in that phone. All right? If you know your phone does not have enough gigabytes in it, please don't request. You're messing up the flow of the broadcast, ladies and gentlemen. Now, you know your phone got 3 megabytes from the Virgin store. You got a Virgin prepaid phone, and you know that it doesn't have that many gigabytes and you don't have that many minutes on it. You won some minutes from a bingo game and the minutes ran out. All right? So, y'all be very clear when you hop on here. Let me get my sister on here real quickly. My sister. What's up, TT? What's up, Tia? Hi.
Like, oh my gosh, he's up so late. But hello,
What are you doing up this late, Tia?
I was actually sleeping and I heard a little beep beep, and so I woke up. But I'm so proud to hear all the things that you're doing tonight. So this is a really good page. I just wanted to comment on the young man who said that he questioned the strategies of Black Americans. And what I would say to him is, and this is what I'm saying to all non FBA, what are you actually offering that we should be accepting? So they often
Yeah,
talk about, well, why aren't you guys being more, why are you being divisive when you say FBA? Okay, well, what are you offering? Are you offering
yeah,
support? Are you offering to let go of some of the privileges that you have to now fight for the ones that we need? So don't just say you don't like the strategy. Tell me what your strategy is to offer to support what you say you want from us. And they often have a one-track mind. It's like still on the whole thought of you're getting something or saying something that we don't like. As you have mentioned, I'm white and I say so. That applies to anybody. But I would just ask that person and anyone else, when you don't like what FBA is doing and you don't like what our strategies are and what we're saying and how we're doing it, when you come to FBA, come with an offer. Come with what you're
yeah.
willing to sacrifice. Then we can actually talk about how we bring that together. Otherwise, your opposition is no offer. You are just a distraction. So that's all.
Absolutely. Thank you so much
You're
for
welcome.
that, dear. Y'all follow my sister Tia. Let's get Black Power Inc. in here. Black Power Inc. Oh, well, let me get you on Black Power. Oh, Black Power Inc. All right, Black Power. All right, Black Power. You all right?
Oh, peace, Tariq, man. I didn't even know I had hit the button on you, man. I'm just tuned in, listening. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
And
There you go. Thank you, brother. This brother wasn't ready. Y'all got to be ready. This brother's rolling over in the bed. He got Milky Way wrappers in the bed, brother. You eating candy bars in the bed, brother. Yeah, if you hit the phone by mistake, okay, just say that and we'll be okay. I don't want you to stop doing what you were doing over there, and I don't want to know what you were doing. You rolling around in the bed just a little bit too much for us to have a conversation this late, brother. Okay, let's get Somali Bondi in here. Okay, we're gonna get Somali Bondi in here. All right, Somali, and I'm gonna need you to be on your p's and q's, Somali Bondi, because a lot of y'all Somalians come in talk crazy. What's up, Somali Bondi?
Hi Tariq, I think I talked to you yesterday.
Oh Lord, it's one of them. Okay, ma'am. Okay, ma'am. What's on your mind tonight, ma'am?
I just want to know your plan on how to get reparations. Like, how are you, like, are you gonna protest or like, are you gonna ask Biden? Like, what is the strategy?
Ma'am, why does it bother you so much? Why does our reparations, and you're not even in the United States, ma'am, you're in London. Why does that bother you so much?
Because I actually had an African American boyfriend, so I care for him to get his reparations.
Well, ma'am, what you and Flavor Flav do in your private life, that's on you. But we're talking about our reparations claim, and that has nothing to do with you, ma'am. That's something that we are going to do on our own. We're going to make it happen. And you shouldn't mind our affairs, ma'am. You have a Somalian country that you have to look after. I'm willing to help you help your country, ma'am.
I don't need help with
Let's help
Somalia. We're
Somalia.
good in Somalia because guess what? We're progressing now and we're doing things in Somalia because we have a stake, we have a country, and we have opportunity. You can chat shit about Africans and you can start diasporas, but at the end of the day, that's not going to help reparations become a thing. It's just not going to happen.
Well, ma'am, why are you worried about it? If you got it so popping in Somalia, why are you worrying about us over here? And why are you sitting up there in London eating some porridge with your injera?
First of all, I'm not worried about reparations. I'm just asking you, what's your plan? Like, how are you going to get it? Just all
Doesn't
I'm asking.
matter to you, ma'am. You're not a foundational Black American, and this has nothing to do with you, ma'am.
You said non-FBA people hop in here. I'm here asking about reparations.
Okay, well, you hop in all the time. Your arguments are in bad faith, ma'am. You're not really having a good faith argument. You're just projecting a lot of anger and jealousy towards foundational Black Americans, ma'am. That's all that's
Jealous of
about.
what? Not getting reparations. I'm so jealous of not getting money.
Yes, you are. You're very jealous of foundational Black Americans, ma'am, because we have
Why would I
normal.
be jealous of a bunch of people who've got 73% African DNA and don't know where they're from?
Well, ma'am, most of the planet has African DNA, so that doesn't mean anything. Culturally, we are a different ethnic group, ma'am, and that's okay. It's okay. We're foundational Black American. You're Somalian, ma'am. We are fly, and you have flies. So there's nothing wrong with that. We're different. We're just
I
different
keep
people.
telling you this, Tariq. I don't have flies on me.
Okay, okay, okay. Thank you, ma'am. All right, all right. Let me get some more people. I wish not to speak to her. She's so jealous of foundational Black America. All right, let's get somebody. Jake, you want to get on, Jake? Where you at, Jake?
What's up?
What's up, Jake? Where are you calling from?
I'm from New York, upstate.
You from upstate New York. What kind of flag is that on your thing, Jake? Where is that?
That's just I'm me fucking around. That's an Antarctica flag.
Oh, okay. Okay, so you a cold white man.
Hell
No,
yeah.
no, no. There you go. Now, where's your family from originally, Jake?
Like just Western Europe, Britain, Ireland, Norway,
There
all
you go.
those places.
There you go. All right, there you go. So what's on your mind, Jake?
All right, so you guys were just talking about reparations. So my
Right.
question is, and I'm sure you've answered this question before, but I haven't listened to all your spaces, you know what I mean?
Okay,
So
go ahead.
reparations obviously is for only black people, whatever.
Right.
But I don't know, doesn't it seem unfair for like any other race if they're poor? Like black people would be the only non-poor people left, you know what I mean?
Really? How so?
Like if we just gave black people, like I don't know how much each black person, like I don't know how much you guys like are asking for in reparations, but there would be no like very poor black people left, correct?
And the fact that your concern is the number of poor Black people being left, that's an interesting focal point,
Well,
sir.
just wouldn't it be make more sense to just have like no poor people, like no like extremely poor people left, period, instead of just
No,
black people not being poor?
no. It would make sense to pay a debt that's owed. Okay, this is not about poor people or whatever. I'm not poor, but I want my damn check from reparations because it's owed to me and it's owed to other Black people. And we've been systematically locked out of the debt that's owed to us. We built the country. No other group built this country but foundational Black Americans. And our family did it for free. So we have a unique situation. You understand? If other people came over here and they're poor, that's on them. You understand?
Yeah, I mean, I feel what you're saying. Like, I do see what you're saying, but
Right. That's on them. If you come in here and you poor, that's on you. If you were poor back in your homeland, go ahead and fix that back in your homeland. You
nah, I see what
understand?
you're saying, but
Right.
I don't know. I don't know if that. I don't know. I don't know if like enough people are gonna be. I don't know if you guys are gonna be get enough people down for that. You know what I mean? Like,
Man, who cares? No, nobody's down for any justice for us. Nobody's never been down for anything for us. We've always had to force that. We've always had to step to society and force them to do the right and just thing. In slavery, we had to force them to do the right thing. During the Jim Crow era, we had to force them to stop Jim Crow. We had to force them to produce civil rights, just basic rights. So we're not leaving it up to the white supremacists to do the right thing. They've never voluntarily done the right thing. We've always had to have movements to make them do the right thing, to make them just, because they're just not just people. Yeah. So people are going to be mad regardless. So we're past that whole thing where we just going to go along so that people won't be mad. They're mad whatever we do. If we
Yeah, I
just
feel you.
exist, they're mad. If we're at home sleep, they're mad. They come in killing us. So they're gonna be mad for whatever. So we might as well stand up and do what we need to do and get justice. Isn't justice a good thing, sir?
Yeah, I mean, I agree with that. Yeah.
There you go, man. And yeah, and don't worry about, people being poor and all that. You're gonna be all right. I know you probably over there in a trailer park, like, damn, if black folks get reparations, I'm gonna be in this trailer park. Well, how's that gonna make me look, man? Get out that trailer park and do something with yourself, brother. All right. Be good, brother. All right.
All right, man.
Well, damn. That's a very interesting vocal point he had. Shout out to brother Michael. All right, let's get Chase in here. What's up, Chase?
What's up, Tariq? Not much. How are you?
I'm good. Now this is a real white man. He pronounced my name Tariq.
How,
So what's going
how do
on,
you
man?
pronounce? Is it Tariq?
Tariq. It's Tariq.
Tariq.
But the white version is all right. Then that's fine. That's how bill collectors call it. Is this Tariq? Is it,
I'll,
are you
I'll,
interested in solar panels, Tariq? Okay. But go ahead. Go
I'll
ahead. What's
I'll
on your mind?
call you. I'll call you Tariq. Um,
There you go.
yeah, I've just been passively observing the conversation, and I have a question about the whole reparations thing. So like my family immigrated to America through Ellis Island in like 1913,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm obviously a white man in America, but
Yeah.
I'm curious, like logistically speaking, if foundational Black Americans wanted to secure reparations from America, like who would they be doing it from? Like, would you guys be looking for reparations from people like me who never owned slaves historically but are still white, or just from
All right. Okay.
slave owners in the
Great question.
South, or how does that work?
Oh, okay. Now your family immigrated from where? Italy, Germany. Where they immigrate from?
Italy and Scotland and Germany.
Got it. Now, see, the thing is, the reason why your family came over here and hopped on that boat with $3 or $4 in their pocket is because they heard there was a country that foundational Black Americans built, and there was a bunch of wealth generated over here that they could come over here and take advantage of. That's why they came over here. So they are complicit. If I go steal some televisions and I go tell people I got a bunch of TVs and I'm giving them away for free, and everybody came over and got the free TVs, they're complicit. And if they know the televisions are stolen, they're complicit in that. They are accessories to the crime. And if your family came over here knowing how this country was built, knowing who built it, knowing the unjust nature of this country and the deprivation towards Black people, they came over here and had no problem with it. They came over here and fell right in line with white supremacy. All of them owe. If you came under this government, because the government owes us. See, it's not some group over here or group over there. Foundational Black Americans were subjugated under the United States government. We could not get out of slavery because the government had us locked into it. So it's not about who owned a slave or not. The system was codified by slavery, and everybody benefited from it. Not just the plantation owners. We lived in a slave society where all of the labor our family engaged in, the wealth of that built the railroads, the wealth of that built the factories, the wealth of that built the schools, the wealth of that built the military. Every aspect of society was born from the foundation of our family being enslaved. So everybody's complicit, meaning everybody's under the government. So It's the same way with Native Americans. The government owes Native American tribes. When Japanese people were locked into those camps in the 1940s, the whole government had to pay up on that. All of our tax dollars had to go towards that. I didn't put anybody in no camp. I didn't harm any Japanese people, but my tax dollars had to go to pay the people reparations. Same thing with foundational Black Americans. And people deep down, they know that we're owed reparations, but there's such an anti Black religion in our culture. They feel like, well, we just don't deserve it because we deserve all the mistreatment because that's just how God wanted it. It's kind of a religious thing to deprive Black people of resources and to punish and mistreat. And we're saying no more of that. We're trying to produce justice, and justice is reparations. Now, wouldn't justice be so much better than systematic anti Black racism, sir?
I mean, yeah, I think justice in general is a really good thing, and I think racism in general is a really bad thing.
Right.
I'm trying to fully grasp your argument here. So, are you saying that pretty much anybody who came to America, regardless of race, after America's wealth was built through slavery,
Uh huh.
pretty much anybody who's come to America from anywhere in the world is a beneficiary of Black slavery? Is that correct?
Yes, 100%. Absolutely.
So you guys essentially feel that everyone owes you guys reparations who has come to
When,
America and
when
benefited from that wealth.
if you come here and you're eating off the wealth of our not just the wealth of our family in slavery, because let's be clear, a lot of people who immigrated here, especially some of the darker people, because remember they didn't want a bunch of immigrants coming over here from darker countries. They let a lot of European immigrants come over, and they owe, of course, but some of these other non-white immigrants, we foundational Black Americans actually fought to get them over here. We were the ones fighting for Asians. We were the ones, our Black heroes and leaders and um, public figures like Muhammad Ali famously said, I'm not going to fight Vietnamese people. I'm not going to fight over there and harm those Asian people who never did anything to me. We were taking stands like that. The Black Panthers were going over there, allying with some of the Asians, trying to help them and protect them. We were allowing people to come over in our communities and we were funding them. So we did a lot, even after slavery. So again, everybody owes us 100%. You come over here, you eating, you owe. It's that simple.
Okay, I see what you're saying.
Right.
And when it comes down to specifics, like what do fair reparations look like for you guys on an individual level, in your opinion?
Right. On we're looking at starting off between 15 and 20 trillion starters. Um, that will, and I'm kind of fuzzy with the numbers. It can be a few $100,000 per family or family member. We're looking at it from different perspectives and the way it can be allocated. Monthly stipends, it can be allocated the same way they allocate funds to Native Americans. This is why we're going to get a foundational Black American Freedmen's Bureau like we had after slavery. Then they dissipated the Freedmen's Bureau. So the same template that they use with Native Americans. It's very smooth with them. I just left Arizona. Man, they have so much land, so many buildings and properties and funds that they give Native Americans. So we do it the same way. We'll follow that template. Give us the same type of resources they give Native Americans in the same style. So it's real simple. It's not rocket science.
So you're saying individual payments per family of like a few $100,000
Yeah,
essentially.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay. Now the GDP, the last I saw, the GDP of the United States, the yearly gross domestic product was around $29 trillion. I think if you guys are asking for around $15 trillion, that might be pretty hard to accomplish. Like, would that be spread out over the span of years, or how does that look?
Now we can work that out because see, the thing is, when it comes to us, foundational Black Americans, all of a sudden, everybody wants to start patting their pockets, like, "Oh my God, we don't have it." They just coughed up a few $1 billion to give to Ukrainians. They're not even citizens. They just coughed up some more billions of dollars to give to some Hispanics who were aggrieved at the border. They're not even citizens.
Yeah, it's criminal.
They had more billions for Afghanistanians.
Yeah.
Nobody's patting their pockets. In California, where I live, In Palm Springs, they're going to start giving monthly checks to transgenders. Nobody's talking about, oh, where's the money? Where's the GDP? Nobody's crunching numbers now. They're just giving money to everybody except us. So now all that money you're giving to the transgender and the Ukrainians and Afghanistanians and all of the aliens and ET and whoever, that money can go to us. That simple. That makes sense.
Yeah, no, it perfectly makes sense, man. I feel much of the same anger when I see how many of our tax dollars are given to everybody except Americans. It feels
Right.
like, and it's very corrupt and it's very wrong. So how
And
many?
you are conservative, right? You're conservative.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Okay. And let's be very clear. But surprisingly, many black people are actually very conservative. We're actually very, very conservative because black people, we've been on the American landscape longer than any other group. There's been black people on this land for thousands of years, even before the Mongolian Native Americans. We've been here for a long time. So we've always had conservative values and conservative views. The only thing that kind of messes up the camaraderie with black people and white conservatives is the anti-black racism. That's kind of a deal breaker. Other than the anti-black racism, which is a huge deal breaker, I agree with damn near most of the stuff that white conservatives talk about. The stuff that y'all got going on talking about Disney and the pedophile stuff, I'm 100% on board with that stuff. The conservatives protesting that, I'm with y'all on that. The freaky stuff that Disney got going on, the mask mandates, I'm with y'all on that. The vaccine stuff, I'm with you on that. The stopping the illegal immigrants coming, I'm with you on that. So I see eye to eye with many conservatives on all of that stuff. Right until you get to the anti-black racism, nah, you lost me. You understand? So you know the the anti-black racism from the right and the left, that's something that's not tolerable, and we just have to produce justice.
Yeah, I have. So you said a lot of things just then. I have a couple more questions if that's
Go
okay.
ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah. So the first question before I address what's more important, the first question is how many foundational Black Americans are there in America today?
Is it like 40 million, 43, 44, something like that, between 40 and 44 million? That's documented because there's a lot of black. I think there's actually more because a lot of black people are not counted. So I think there's a few more, but we'll officially between 40 million, 44 million.
Okay, interesting. So in addition to being a conservative, I also am a Christian.
Okay.
I'm somebody who believes in Jesus Christ, and one aspect of that belief is that I believe that God views each of us and loves each of us and values every single one of us equally.
Right.
And I believe it's my job as a Christian to embody that belief in my own personal life. So I don't look at a black man or a white man or an Asian man and see any of them as being more valuable in God's eyes or in my own eyes. Um, and I think that there's many other conservative Christians out there like me. Now, with that said, there are also many racists out there in America, and I'm curious, like, do you draw a distinction between people like myself and the people I would consider genuinely racist on the right? Are we all kind of in the same category? How does that? How do you guys
No.
look at us in that way?
And I always say,
And the reason, let me just clarify, the reason why I ask is because this claim of anti-black racism is
right.
I've it's been applied to me many times over the past few years, and I don't feel that I've done anything to warrant it. And I'm just curious, like, can you expand on that?
Right. A lot of people think when we talk about racism or white supremacy, we're talking about Richard Spencer or the alt right, or just mouth frothing alt right members or neo Nazis or people who went up to the Unite the Right rally. No, no, no. Those are whatever. I actually respect those type of white supremacists more than the other ones because at least they're honest. And I've had conversations with Richard Spencer. At least they're open, and I know what I'm dealing with. The white supremacists, the ones who are most effective, the ones who are in the schools, those are the real white supremacists. The ones who run the school boards, the ones who run the court systems, the ones who run the police stations, the doctors out here who's performing de facto eugenics on black people. This is why so many black women are dying in childbirth and so on. So undercover white supremacists that we see in everyday life or that we don't see in everyday life. Those are the ones that are most effective. We don't have a system of white supremacy that has run for so long without people consciously making that system run. And we don't have a list of who the white supremacists are. Nobody's telling us who these non alt right white supremacists are. So we have to suspect that many of them could be white supremacists. So we, as Black people who are victims of white supremacy, unfortunately, we do have to be on alert. We don't know if we're driving down the street and a cop pulls us over. We don't know if he's part of a white supremacist deputy gang. We don't know if he's a neo-Nazi, because in the system of white supremacy, they have a green light to harm us. So we are within our God-given rights to have our minds on alert when we get around people. So again, you have white supremacists, suspected white supremacists, and you have non-racists, but we don't know who the non-racists are. So we have to be a little suspicious. So wouldn't you be?
Oh, certainly. Yeah, I certainly would
Yeah.
probably be suspicious in
And
those
speaking,
circumstances.
you mentioned Christian, you being a Christian, that doesn't mean anything. You know who else is a Christian organization? The Klan. The Ku Klux Klan is actually a Christian organization. If you listen to their ideology, they promote themselves as a Christian group. You understand? So being a Christian don't mean anything. Some of the biggest white supremacists claim Christianity. They dominated people based on a false version of Christianity, which isn't Christianity whatsoever. But the white supremacists, they've always used religion to dominate and subjugate. Right before they go and colonize somebody, they send the missionaries in there. There's missionaries raping Black kids all over the place. They go into Black countries and kidnap kids and harvest organs under the name of Christianity all the time. So we don't even trip on the religion thing no more, just because somebody say they're part of certain religious groups. There's only one religion that they really believe in, and that's the religion of white supremacy.
Yeah. I certainly don't identify with any of the groups that you just mentioned. I don't understand how it's possible to call yourself a Christian and not view all of God's children as equal.
Right.
It doesn't make sense to me. Yo, do you guys have the eugenicist Bill Gates on your guys' radar, and are you guys aware of what he's been doing in India and Africa with his vaccines?
Yeah, we know. We're hip to Bill Gates. Yeah, we're hip to Bill Gates. We know what's going on with that.
Okay, just checking. I'm trying to raise the alarm with as many people as I possibly can, because that guy's a psychopath and he's forcibly sterilizing people all over the planet, and we should not so quickly take free vaccines from him when he offers them based on his track record. So, Tariq, thank you for answering my questions. And
Thank you so much, my friend. I appreciate you. All right, let me see. A couple of more people on here. Let me see. Julian, have I had you on here before, Julian? I see Julian on here. Julian, have I had you on here before? Could have swore I had Julian on here before. Let me get Julian on here. All right, Julian, hop on real quick. And we are in here heavy. We got over 1,000 people in here late night. I take my ass to bed with my wife with her big old pregnant stomach. What's up, Julian?
Oh, what's up, baby? What you doing?
Oh, what's going on, brother?
Oh, nah, shit, I was about to go sleep, and then I saw you on, so I said, let me put down these Captain Crunch and talk to you. You one of the
Now, for those
funniest
of
men on Twitter, bro. I love you. I got love for you.
now, Julian is actually a white dude who does a black scent. This is actually a white
Yeah,
man.
I'm a white man. Yeah,
This he is. He's a
yes,
white
sir.
man. He
Fuck
talks
on.
with a black scent, but sitting over there looking like Dog the Bounty
Hold on, let me
Hunter.
put my
He's white
headphones
as
in.
hell. Yeah, drinking out of an empty mayonnaise jar. So yeah, he's a white man.
All right, you hear me? You heard
You
me?
hear all that noise in the back. He's cooking meth. That's meth crackling in the back. That's meth in the oven crackling, and he's getting it to perfection. He's
Yeah,
about to
yeah.
go
I'm
out here and
trying to
get his
sell
slang.
your heart disease. I love smoking crack, doing some crack.
My nigga's getting that meth popping. He's
That
about to get that
diabetes
meth
and
and hit
heart
that
disease
pop.
you love getting. Oh yeah, black people love
Yes,
that heart
indeed.
disease. I tell you that much.
Yes, yes. He's a meth dealer and a male prostitute. So
Oh no, I
he's
ain't with
slinging
that gay
rocks.
shit, man. You come out there in Atlanta, a lot of gay niggas, bro. They love slanging
You
their
slinging
pussy.
rocks.
You talk about
No, you slinging rocks and you slinging cock, nigga. Okay, we see what you're doing over there. All right. Thank you so much. Let me get him out of here. Let him go ahead and get to making that money. Go ahead and get that shmoney, buddy. I ain't mad at you. All right. Okay. I've been on here for a very long time. Much respect to the family. A lot of people in here. I hope we had some constructive conversations tonight. I think we had some constructive conversations tonight. Shout out to all the lovely people in here. A lot of lovely people in here. Um, Y'all don't forget to go to Amazon, get my book, Foundational Black American Race Beta. When somebody else wants to get on, somebody, Alok, what's your name? Okay, sound like this guy's from India somewhere. Okay, let me get this. Alok, hop on, Alok. Alok, hop on, brother. Okay, he raised his hand, wanted to get on. Hop on, brother. Alok, turn your microphone on, bro. All right, you had me hold up the whole broadcast, and you couldn't even get your prepaid working right. Alok, turn your microphone on, bro. All right, so my dude is over there in Pakistan, and he can't get his phone working right now. You're gonna have to put down some of that curry and try it again. All right. Okay. Let me get one more on here because this dude just kind of held up the flow. All right, let's get armchair social justice warrior. All right, armchair social justice warrior. All right, hop on armchair.
Hello,
Hey, brother, how are
I'm
you?
good. How are you, Tariq?
I'm good. And where you calling from?
Yeah, I'm from Colorado.
From where?
Colorado?
Colorado. You live in Colorado, but where are you from with that accent? Where in the Middle East are you from?
Actually, I'm from India, but I moved to the US 6 years back.
You're from Ethiopia?
India.
India. Okay, India. Okay.
Yeah,
So what's on your mind? What's
yeah.
on your
So
mind?
I've listened to you for a while, and I agree with you that the FBAs do deserve reparations. But my
Yes.
only question is, do you need support from other minority groups to get the FBA reparation bills passed?
No, we don't. We don't. But it would be cool if you support it. That's good. But we actually don't need the support because there's enough of us, and you know, other groups don't really support us, to be honest, unless it's something that's going to benefit them. They support a minority coalition where they can benefit from the minority coalition, but unfortunately, other minority groups they don't really support us, even though we go out of our way to help get them elected. We push bills to help them. So we're on our own with it. But if people wish to help, that would be great. But we're doing our thing.
Okay, and also about the reparations. So you said there are about 40 million FBAs in America. I mean,
Yeah.
I if there are FBAs who are already millionaires or who are earning more than 100,000 a year, do you think do you think they still deserve reparations because they're already doing well in their life, they're making good money? Why do you'd rather give it to people FBAs who are struggling, who are actually poor?
No, all FBA should get it.
You
Because we some of us make money in spite of the economic deprivation. Just because we made money in spite of the deprivation doesn't mean we still don't deserve it. Now I'm pretty well off as a person can be. I still want my damn check though. When the reparations pop off, I'm getting my reparations check. You understand?
okay? Sure.
That that makes sense. I'm owed that. My family is owed that. So I want what's owed. If I got $1 million, I want $1,003. If you owe me $3, I want my $3.
But I mean, a lot of wealthy people they don't care about getting extra money, even if they are owed reparations.
Oh, oh, yes, they do. Oh yes, they do. White folks, especially white people gonna get some money. They don't give a damn how much it is or who owes it. If you owe some white people some money, they going to get that money. They don't play that, oh, I got enough, I don't need it. No. White people will go get every dime. They get every type of tax cut. They get every kind of discount, every kind of deal, every kind of man, they all y'all too. Y'all East Indians, boy, y'all come over and y'all got all types of hustles. Y'all trying to get every dime you can get. You understand? If somebody owe you something, you going to get that paper. You're going to get every dime. You don't be like, oh, I got enough, I'm cool. No. You want everything that's owed to you and not owed to you. You understand? So we want what's owed to us, and we deserve it. That makes sense.
Sure. And also,
There you.
I have another quick question. If
Yes.
once the FPS get the reparations, would you support reparations for other minority groups who have been who have faced hate crimes and stuff like that?
Well, the thing is, our reparations is not for just hate crimes. See, our reparations is for slavery. See, we have a reparations claim for slavery, and the thing is, if people come over here and say, "Well, I'm a victim of hate crimes," what's going to happen is people are going to look at you like, "Well, damn it, why didn't you just go home? If it was so bad, you could have just turned around and went back to your crib. You could have went back home. If it were so bad over here, why did you come?" See, that's what makes your situation a little more unique than ours. See, this is our homeland. We built this land. Foundational Black Americans are indigenous to the United States, meaning there was no United States until we built it. So we didn't come from any other country to a better country. We had
Yeah,
to build a country. We're indigenous
yes,
to the United
yeah.
States. So we couldn't go nowhere
Yes, the
else.
FBS have built the country for up till a point, but after the 1965 Immigration Act, there are a lot of people from all over the world who've immigrated to US, and they too contributed in building what America is right now. So
Well, not really, not
why
really.
not?
But no, because they couldn't build their own homelands. Okay, so they come over here and just capitalize off what already is built. That's what they do. They couldn't build their
So
own
even if they're
homelands.
capitalizing off what's already built, they're still contributing, they're still paying taxes, right? So
That okay, but no, well, they're getting paid. You know, they're getting paid already. So who's contributing to who? They're being contributed to by coming over here, capitalizing off what's already built, and the tax dollars are being taken off what they're capitalizing off of. But we're already the country is already built. You know, the wealth is already generated. You understand? So they're just coming over here, eating off a table that's already made. Like if somebody comes and makes a whole plate of food and puts out a buffet on the table, you can't just come to the table, eat up everything, and say, "Hey, look, I
Please
just
follow me.
contributed." Oh, hello? Oh, what was that? Is that Alok?
yeah, that's not me.
Okay, somebody. Okay, but yeah, y'all
Please
just
follow me. Follow back.
okay. Okay, Alok, hold on, I'll get you in a second. But yeah, you feel what I'm saying, Mr. Colorado, man.
Yeah, sure. Yeah,
Good. All right, but anyway, thank you
thank you.
so much. Thank you. Okay, now Alok, are you on here, man? I forgot I still had you in the queue. Okay, Alok, you good? Alok is delivering late night DoorDash orders, and he's trying to get on here between drives, sir. I would suggest that you finish your DoorDash orders before you try to get on live, Alok. Okay, because your customers are gonna get mad. You're not gonna put all the utensils in the bag, sir. So let me get him out of here. All right. So, anywho, that's been, you know, an interesting conversation here. A lot of folks still getting in. I got a lot of people from. I see some Middle Eastern stuff going on here. Who this person is? I can't pronounce your name. It's in look like East Indian letters. I can't pronounce your name, sir. But the brother with the East Indian letters or the Pakistani letters, I think that's Pakistan or East India. Turn your microphone on, sir. I don't know what your name is, sir. It's written in another language. Hakmeed. Yeah, Hakmeed, and I'm assuming that's what your name is saying in that language, sir. Hakmeed, you can turn your microphone on, sir. Okay. I don't think he understands me. Um, Hakmeed, you can turn. There you go. Hakmeed, turn your microphone on, sir. You're waving. Turn your microphone on, Hakmeed. Okay. Do I need to get Google Translate in here so he can understand what I'm saying? Hakmeed, there you go. Hakmeed, you here?
Follow me, please.
Okay. Follow you.
Yes, yes.
Um, are you the one driving down the street in the Uber car? Do you want me to follow that? because I'm not in my car right now. I can't follow your Uber right now, sir. Um, where are you calling from?
I'm from India.
India. There you go. What's your name, sir?
My name is Amit Yadav.
Um, your name is Ahmed
Ji,
Avocado.
ji.
Ahmed Avocado. What's it? You like avocados? What's your name again, sir?
Why?
What's your name one more time, sir?
Amit. Amit. A
Ahmed.
M I D. Amit. Ji.
Ahmed. Much respect to you, Ahmed. Much respect. So, what's on your mind? Do you have anything to chime in with, sir?
फॉलो करवाइए मुझे.
You said what?
Follow me, please.
Follow you?
Yes, yes. All respected persons follow me.
Or why are we following you, sir?
Ji.
Why are we following you?
I am new in the Twitter and I increase my follower, and this this person was follow me. I'm follow back.
So, are you trying to get on some 90 Day Fiance? Are you trying to get some women to follow you? Are you trying to, finesse a green card? Why are you trying to get people to follow you just randomly? You're on here trying to get people to follow you. Are you looking for love? Are you trying to um, finesse one of these women to hook you up, to marry you, to get a green card? What are you trying to do, sir?
Sir, my English is weak.
Your English is big. What?
Why I am Indian?
Okay, you're Indian. I understand that, and much respect to you and your culture, sir. I'm just trying to understand why you're here and what do you need for us to do? You want us to follow you, and do what, sir?
Sir, I requested for you. You saying all people are follow me and I follow back him.
Oh, you if we follow you, you're trying to get followers.
G.
Okay. Well, hopefully some people will follow you, and you can make friends. You sound like a nice guy. By the way, do you have any coupons for Uber Eats? Because I'm looking for coupons, sir. And I heard they got some good deals for Father's Day. So if you got some good Uber Eat coupons, I will follow you because I do need some good deals, sir. Ahmed, you here, sir?
G. G.
Okay. Okay, Ahmed. I thank you and I appreciate you for calling, sir. Ahmed?
G. G. G.
Okay. You're saying random consonants. I don't understand certain things you're saying, so I'm trying to respect your culture. Okay.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Okay. All right, brother. I know there's some curry in there that's boiling on the stove, so I'm going to let you go back to that, sir. You have a great night. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. It's getting a little weird. Getting a little weird tonight. Okay. Getting a little weird. Okay. Let's try Gun Gun. All right, try Gun Gun. A lady named Gun Gun is on here. Okay. Gun Gun, are you here? Gun Gun, Goon Goon. I don't know if I'm pronouncing it correctly, ma'am. I want to respect your culture. Goon Goon, turn your microphone on, ma'am. Goon Goon. Okay.
Yeah, Tariq Nasheed, bhai. How are you?
Yes, I'm good, ma'am. How are you?
I am fine.
Is it Gun Gun or Goon Goon?
Gun. I am Indian,
There you go. Why?
living from Indian.
Okay. Why are so many Indian people calling me right now? So
Uh,
many of you up. What's
uh,
going on? Why are so many Indian people calling right now?
yeah. Your language is very typical. I am Indian. I don't know English. I know little English. Okay, Tariq Nasheed.
Okay. Okay. So how can I help you, Goon Goon? Goon Goon?
Yeah.
How can I help you, ma'am? Did you have a question, ma'am?
Yeah,
What's your question, ma'am?
I don't understand your language, but your English is very typical. So
Okay. Okay. I
you
think
follow me, I will follow back. Okay.
okay. People are trying to finesse, guys. They're trying to get some mail order bride. Goon Goon, are you trying to? Are you trying to choose? Goon Goon?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
No,
Ali,
no, no, no. I want to get chosen, sweetie. No, no, no. I'm married. I can't do nothing with you, ma'am. You sound like you're trying to um, come up. You sound like you're trying to get on a 90-day visa. I can't do nothing for you, Goon Goon. Goon Goon, I don't want the poon poon, Goon Goon. I can't do nothing for you, ma'am. I don't know why. Y'all sound like y'all trying to come up. This is not the right chat room for that. I respect your hustle. I want you to get yours, but this is not the right forum for that, ma'am. I say that with love and respect and much respect, and I hope you find what you're looking for, ma'am. But I can't do it for you, so I'm gonna let Goon Goon go. Okay, yeah, these people are trying to come up. Lord, man, they trying to get a green. It's a bunch of them. Why are they popping up talking about follow them? Who is this person? Another one. Here's a Habiba. Okay, hop on, Habiba. Yeah, they people out here trying to do something strange for a little piece of change. Habiba, hop on. Okay, and all of them have difficulties turning their microphones on. All right, Habiba. Yeah, I think they're trying to find some tricks. Habiba, turn your microphone on. All right, Habiba. Let me get Habiba out of here. Habiba ain't saying nothing. She can't get it together. We got David in here. I think I could have swore I had David on here before. David, have I had you on here before? Hop on, David. I could have swore I had David on here before.
That was a different David.
Oh, okay. What's up, David? How are you?
Not bad. Getting more serious, I guess. I'm up in New England, Massachusetts, Rhode Island area, and
Okay.
as liberal as we are, I can still see rampant racism when you look at drugs and the way that we treat people of different ethnicities that are doing drugs with the phrasing of how they treat the opioid crisis, versus other people doing other drugs, and
Right.
what your thoughts are on, how we can just treat everyone the same.
Well, the thing is, man, the part of the deal of systematic white supremacy is to give people classified as white certain immunities of law. That's the selling thing. That's why people are so prompt to uphold the system. And even with drug sentencing and everything else, there's a story right now about a little black girl being targeted with her hair. I put a video up on my page, and it went viral, of a black girl down in Mississippi. She's in a competition for weightlifting, and they told her she's going to be disqualified because she had beads in her hair. And then all the other kids had to take her beads out and humiliate the girl in order for her to compete. So this type of contradictory type of enforcement of certain rules, where white people don't get these enforcements and black people do, that's all symptomatic of global white supremacy. Like I said, white girls and white children, they're never disqualified because of anything to do with their hair or what they're wearing on their heads, but it happens to black kids all the time. White people don't get mass incarcerated for all the drugs they use, but black people do all the time. White people don't get mass incarcerated for storming the Capitol like white supremacists did last year. They're getting slaps on the wrist, and you still have Black Panthers from the 1960s who talked about overthrowing the government, and they're still in prison. That's the sickness and contradiction of white supremacy, giving one group immunity of law and another group extreme punishment for whatever they do. You over criminalize and incarcerate one group. So, in order to stop white supremacy, you have to have people who are willing to stop white supremacy. And the only people who are willing to stop it are black people. Other groups are not really trying to stop white supremacy. The dominant white society are not really trying to stop it. There's too many perks and goodies on the table for them. It's too practical for them to let it maintain. Here's the bad part, though. The systematic white supremacy causes people to force segregate. And when you force segregate, you weaken your society because it gets into an incestuous realm at that point. This is why so many neurological diseases are popping up in these white supremacist enclaves. So white supremacy is slowly destroying itself anyway. So it's just best to produce justice now so it doesn't have to be all perverted and sick and one group has to subjugate another because of racial insecurities. If they wanted to stop it, they can just stop it. But we as foundational Black Americans, we're going to continue to oppose it because we're the only group that has not been completely mentally colonized under the system of white supremacy. Now, you live in New England, right?
Right. And not to bear side topic, you brought up hair, and I was listening to NPR the other day, and in Massachusetts, they're like in the middle of passing a law so that for hair, like kids were suspended from school because they had braided hair. I'm like,
Right.
what? This is 2022. How is that still happening?
Right. The Crown Act. They're talking about that Crown Act and they're not really going to do anything with the Crown. They're supposed to, but even when this case came up down in Mississippi, I confronted a lot of these people on the left about this Crown Act that they were bragging about. And if you got the Crown Act, why is this little girl being targeted? Well, we haven't ratified it. It still has to go through Senate. Still got to do this. Still got to do that. So it's the same old thing. But this is why we just need money. Foundational Black Americans, we need reparations. Let's just start there. Let's just go for the gusto. We need cash payments, cash reparations that will remedy a lot of stuff because we're targeted really because we're vulnerable and poor for the most part. Too many of us are poor and we just can't fight all of the oppression like that. So we just need compensation. So that's what we need to start with. Then.
Now, quick question. I don't know if you remember when Andrew Yang ran for office, his idea of UBI in general, universal beneficial income.
No, that's another lift all policy. That's a nothing burger because that still keeps us on the bottom. There's a racial wealth gap, and the wealth gap is because Black people are deprived of resources, and other groups are specifically given resources. So if you do a universal lift all program, that'll lift everybody up, but we're still on the bottom. We need an equity program, meaning that we have a specific program and policy of tangibles that lifts up Black people specifically. It has to be equity, not equality. Equality puts us in the same boat. We're not equal. We've already been crippled too much. And Andrew Yang was using that Dr. Martin Luther King language for that universal income thing. But Dr. King wanted reparations for foundational Black Americans. So we have to take care of that. There's never been a program or policy that specifically and exclusively benefited foundational Black Americans ever in this country. But there's policies that benefit all of these immigrant groups exclusively. These Asian bills they got that's giving Asian hate crime bills and money to Asian organizations and money to all of these other organizations. Everybody gets chipped off except us. So we have to give resources owed to foundational Black Americans because we're owed resources. These other groups are not even citizens come over here and get billions of dollars. They're not owed that, but they do it really to spite us to a certain degree. Everybody knows that foundational Black Americans are the only group that are really owed compensation for real, for real. We've done the most and suffered the most and got the least out of it. So we have to produce justice and rectify that. Does that make sense, sir?
Well, I think they easily write under Monday saying national defense, security defense. And they, I don't know how you propose the bill to do something like that. I don't. I'm not super familiar with you yourself. We gotta do a little more research on you. Do you have a proposal on your website somewhere?
Well, no, we don't, but people know. I mean, there's reparations conversations now. It's very simple. Give us the same money that they give the Native Americans the same way. They have money for all of these non-citizens. They have billions of dollars for Ukrainians, billions of dollars for Afghanistanians, billions of dollars for Hispanics at the border. They're even giving money to the LGBT organizations. So the same way they give money to those groups, give it to us. It's that simple.
Have a nice night.
Thank you so much, David. All right. Okay. Yeah, family, we got to make this thing simple. It's not rocket science. It's real simple. It is not rocket science in any sense of the word, ladies and gentlemen. It is not rocket science. All right. And shout out to everybody in here. Shout out to the family and shout out to everybody who got stuff on our baby registry on Amazon. You can go to Amazon and type in Tariq Nesheed at the baby registry. And you guys, we have a baby registry because we have a baby due in a couple of months. A lot of people been wanting to get stuff for the baby. That's beautiful. I appreciate everybody who got stuff on our baby registry. You guys can go to Amazon to the baby registry and type in Tariq Nesheed. That would be great. I love the thoughts and the concerns and the gifts from the family. That's a beautiful thing. We love that energy. And on that note, let me get up out of here because it's getting late. Thank you guys for tuning in. Much respect to the family. And in the words of our foundational Black American ancestors, with the foundational Black American Tut language, I bid you Papi Akute and Lula Vuve.